panting breaths along with long, sharp fangs. Long ears gradually appeared. The body slowly transformed, a myriad of questions in his mind. Why? Why did it turn out like this? She glared, her face slightly flushed as if in a daze. It was clearly fine before. Why suddenly? Her eyes reflected the image appearing before her. A white wolf appeared. Why did he suddenly turn into a monster? On the large screen in the city center, a very handsome and charming young man appeared. The crowd of people bustled by. In this world, there are many different kinds of necks. Looking at the necks of other people, slender ones, or men with necks that were strong and sturdy, there were also old necks and no shortage of young ones. The red-haired woman sitting in the car looked outside. If only she could have a few scars around necks, truly submitting to her. Her eyes looked coldly at her reflection in the mirror. If so, what would it taste like? The car door suddenly opened. She is Han Truck, 27 years old, the founder of Truck Log Jewelry, just like that. Stepped out. As soon as she got out, she was constantly being solicited by young men. "Miss, would you like to take a look over here? We have a new handsome guy in our shop." She bluntly refused. "Excuse me, please make way." Rejected by the beautiful woman, the man persisted. "I'm very confident in my face. Why are you so cold, sis?" The person next to him hurriedly stopped him. Don't say it." The person next to him hurriedly explained. She seems to be the top princess of our place." A pair of long legs stepped out. Number 1, Van Thwan, for his regular customer. He stepped out with a greeting. "Welcome." And he is Van Thwan, 22 years old, the top host, a man in the spotlight. The host club provides male hosts to serve women, pouring drinks and making conversation. He spoke up, asking softly, "Miss Han, to think you'd visit me during work hours. I'm very happy. Isn't the company busy today?" She was silent for a moment, then spoke. "My blind date. It failed again." He was a bit puzzled. He stood up and asked, "How could it be? Didn't we prepare everything thoroughly?" She tucked a strand of hair aside, her face emotionless. "The other party said I was treating him like a dog." She recalled the conversation where the man stood up abruptly and shouted, "Han Truck, am I your dog? Aren't you annoying? Let's have a sincere conversation." He just left like that, not forgetting to tell her. A woman who doesn't even know her place comes on a blind date. May you be lonely for the rest of your life. Unwilling to accept it, she slammed the glass of water on the table. What does he mean? Doesn't know a woman's place? Since when do you need a place for a blind date? He came over and took the glass while she fumed. "Why is it that every time I get dumped after just a few meetings?" He made a sound of agreement. "Miss Han, why must you go on blind dates? Isn't dating freely a good thing?" That hit a sore spot for her as she came to the host club to learn how to interact with men. "There's no way for me to date freely. Don't you know my family situation? Their nagging is killing me." She coolly demanded, "Quickly find me a decent man to date so I can focus on my work." He was silent for a moment, then spoke softly. "If so, will you be happy?" She briefly thought about his words. Remembering everything that had happened until now, she replied, "It doesn't matter. After all, I've never had feelings for anyone since I was young. Only 4. At this point, she fell silent again, burying her face on the table, ruffling her hair in frustration. "Forget it. Maybe there's really something wrong with me. Maybe I have some mental illness. I just can't do anything with men." She was frustrated. "So what should I do?" He looked at her with a hint of sadness in his eyes. Then he comforted her. "No matter what, I will help you." Hearing that, she sobered up and asked again, "Really?" He hummed in agreement. Then, saying that, she held out her hand. "Pinky promise." He held out his hand. "Okay." She was delighted. "You have to do it." At this moment, he was moved by her. He gently turned his hand over. "Like this." She smiled brightly. "Yes." Not sure if she was taking advantage of the situation, but she slapped his hand hard. He yelped in excitement. "Ouch!" He cried out, but he wasn't hurt at all. It even felt a little comfortable. "Miss Han, do you have a bit of an S tendency? You always like to make these small moves." She was startled. "Huh? Did I press too hard?" "Sorry. This kind of thing is better when it's consensual. If you're not comfortable, you must tell me." He quickly spoke up. "No, it's fine." His eyes were full of infatuation. "Making the customer happy is my duty. Let me help you relieve your stress." Then he took her arm, constantly inviting her. "Then please continue." He then said gently, "Making the customer happy is my duty. Let me help you relieve your stress." Suddenly, someone nearby spoke up. "Hey, Mr. Van, come over to our table. We'll get you some fine liquor." He hesitated. Okay." A brief explanation. When a regular customer is choosing a male host to entertain them, besides the fee, they can also be billed for alcohol. The more expensive the alcohol, the higher the tip. He turned to her and said, "Sorry, I might have to go to another table first. I'll be back quickly." She didn't look at him anymore and just waved him away. "Go on." Help me pick some good bottles of wine, too. The rule of the club is that if multiple customers choose the same host, the host will attend to the table that agrees to spend more. She sighed. It's so chaotic. She thought, how tiresome. As expected, being a flirtatious woman is better. That woman was relentlessly trying to win him over. Come drink with us. We'll order expensive wine. How tiresome, she thought. Even with money, it comes to this. She downed her drink in one go. But even though she had long known these rules, she didn't feel any admiration. She fell into a drunken state. Because she didn't hate it either, being cold just made her feel more bland. A gentle reminder. In reality, service staff don't need to go to other tables. Dear little angel readers, please protect yourselves well. That night was perhaps an unforgettable one as he was carrying her in his arms. She was dead drunk and couldn't think clearly. He could only gently place her down. Lying on the bed, she whispered, so thirsty. Hearing her, he had already prepared for it. Don't move, I'm coming. He gently helped her up. Miss Han is drunk, but rest assured, this is a proper hotel. You should rest. I will leave soon. It's true that you can do anything when you're drunk. Hearing that, she turned and said, you're not allowed to go. The glass of water accidentally spilled all over her, making her even more alluring. He was a bit taken aback, his breathing slightly ragged. He quickly regained his composure and wiped it for her. Sorry, today is rather special. I must leave. Hearing that, she didn't believe him. Special? I've only heard of women having special days. Men have special days too. So she held on tight, not letting him go. What's so special? You can't fool me. He became flustered. Miss Han, please let go. His ears were starting to appear, and she, using her drunkenness as an excuse, hugged him tightly. I won't let go. You're so warm and comfortable. He felt like he was losing his composure. Damn it, I'm starting to lose control again. He tried to say, if I don't go, it'll be very dangerous. For some reason, he took off his shirt. Sorry, excuse my rudeness. But she was thrilled to see his firm body. It can be like this too? Looking at that back made her heart ache. Hey, so cold. She couldn't help but think. I really have no luck with the opposite sex. I can't even keep a man by being flirtatious. Her gaze was fixed on his neck, which was flushing. But his neck is very beautiful. Her eyes lit up again when she saw something interesting. Excited, she pounced. Why do you have animal ears? He was startled to hear that. Animal ears? Did they appear first? Taking advantage of her drunkenness, he quickly denied it. No, how can a person have animal ears? You're drunk and seeing things. She was drunk, but not blind. Seeing things or not, I'll know once I touch them. Let me touch. He firmly objected. No. Then suddenly, she was tripped. So, like in many romance stories, she fell, but she pulled him down with her. Careful. In this romantic scene, his heart pounded relentlessly. She was so stunned she forgot she was drunk. Mr. Van. She looked at the person in front of her, his eyes. His eyes were glowing, just like a wild beast. He had probably reached his limit. He said hurriedly, sorry, I can't control it. Don't look at me. She turned around and asked, Mr. Van, what's wrong? She was also surprised. What is happening? Clawed feet pinned her down. Human. She lay still, and he whispered, don't move. She was stunned. He's turned into an animal. It's true that drunks fear nothing. She still asked, are you Mr. Van? Are you still conscious? He was terrified. It's over. Why does she keep seeing me like this? He explained seriously. Miss Han, I won't hurt you. Please don't call the police. Her mind processed it very quickly. The explanation seemed to have worked. It's okay. I'm very calm. On the contrary, she looked intrigued. We can communicate. She reached out her hand to stroke him. On the other hand, Mr. Van, why have you become so fluffy? Like this? She was completely drunk. It seems she really likes touching it. He looked at her, mesmerized. It seems whether in human or beast form, he's still a sucker for beautiful women. That's right. He remembered the time before. When I was little, I often found it hard to breathe at home. So I loved to climb the high wall of a nearby welfare institution. I was small, but I could climb as well as anyone. But there was a reason for everything. Because behind that wall, there was only a small, dirty dog waiting for me. At that time, she called out cheerfully, puppy, and ran straight toward that dog. Back to reality, she was in a daze. On the other hand, Mr. Van, why have you become so furry? At first glance, it looks very soft. Her eyes were filled with contemplation. He avoided her gaze. I'm not furry. Miss Han is just dreaming. When you wake up tomorrow, everything will be back to normal. It's true that being drunk makes you braver. What's wrong with this person? Seeing a monster, she should run away. She should be begging, please don't eat me. But the person in front of him was being clingy, dreaming. She scratched her head. Oh, so it's a dream, No wonder I saw a puppy. He breathed a sigh of relief, but his flesh and skin were that of a wolf. But she wouldn't let it go. But if it's a dream? She pushed him down, a dangerous look on her face. Does this mean I can unleash my desires? He was stunned, bewildered, dumbfounded. Huh? Are you even okay? She started to mess around. Oh my, I want to get a closer look at this creature for a while. He quickly tried to stop her. Don't touch. My body is very sensitive right after transforming. She didn't let go and even bit him. I'm really treating him like a delicious meal. Her gaze suddenly stopped. It was to explore other places. The teeth seemed to be very sharp too. So who is the wolf here? He was sending out an SOS signal. Why is she so crazy when she's drunk? To the point where he didn't dare to use force. He tried to call her Han, but his effort was significant but ineffective. The structure is really not like a human's. He was worried, but a beast's body can't control its strength. How much more was she going to torture him? He tried to stop her. Don't. My protests will hurt her. Why does her face look so sinisterly strange? He's so cute. If you're really better than a human, being a dog is even better. After saying that, she lightly kissed his nose. He gritted his teeth. Has it really come to this? Then he raised his hand to stop her. You can't kiss me. His eyes were filled with contemplation. Kissing is something you can only do with someone you like. I'm not worthy. In that night scene, he looked so sad. Early the next morning, when the sun was high in the sky, only now did she sober up. She had no impression of what happened afterwards. After waking up for a while, she flopped back down, sobered up, and mistook the person. She thought, last night I think I got drunk at the host club, then Mr. Van brought me here. She lay there thinking, I only remember. You're the real wolf, pinning him down. Like that, just thinking about it, I feel so foolish. It must have been a wrong feeling. How can a person turn into an animal? It's too absurd. But it seems she wasn't quite convinced, because she was super curious. She picked up the phone and immediately made a reservation. Hello, I'd like to book Mr. Van Thwan's spot for tonight. Looking at herself in the mirror, she told herself, first, let's meet him. But the next sentence surprised her. I'm very sorry, miss. Mr. Van took a day off today. He can't take appointments. She asked again, so when does he usually come back to work? He never missed a day before. The other person tried to explain. Mr. Van's situation is quite special. He usually takes 2 days off and comes back the day after. Do you need to book him for the day after tomorrow? She replied, then please do. She felt something was wrong. Strange. Has he not recovered yet? In another apartment complex, the room echoed with growls. He was banging his head against the wall and growling, as if enduring the pain of transformation. The pain continued to torment him until he returned from beast form to human form. In this room, a familiar figure appeared. 7 p.m. on Friday, in the empty room, another call rang out. Han Truck, why did you get into a fight with your blind date again? His conditions are even better than the young master of the Lich family. Why are you still not satisfied? It seems she was all too used to this. Mom, it's not that I'm not satisfied. He's the one who dumped me. But it seemed her mother didn't care. Then the problem must not be with the man. Mrs. Lich already told me, you don't care about young Mr. Lich at all. You never take the initiative to chat with him every day. Men nowadays prefer clingy women. She was scared just listening. I really do greet him every morning. I reply to all his WeChat messages, but he feels my conversation is cold, so there's nothing I can do. It's because you don't know how to talk. At the same time, a knock was heard at the door. A hand pushed the door open, catching her attention, and she no longer cared what her mother was saying. So annoying. I'm not a child anymore. In a few years, I'll be 30. If I don't hurry, I'll be an old maid. Bok Chu-san, Han Truck's secretary and best friend, entered and whispered, President Han, we're off work. Want to go for a drink? Before Han Truck could reply, she was already terrified by her mother's words. In short, no matter what, hurry up and pursue the young master of the Lich family, or else don't come home. Bok Chu-san, standing by, roughly understood the situation. What's wrong? Did your mom lecture you again? You've been practicing how to interact with men at the host club, and it's still not working? She sighed. How can I learn? So she packed her bag to go home. But recently, there's something more interesting. I'm not going for a drink tonight. I'm leaving first. At the old host club she frequented, he was back to work as usual. A few gossips were chatting. Isn't that Mr. Van, the top host of our club? I haven't seen him for the past few days. The other person replied, Mr. Van's work schedule is very whimsical. This person seemed to dislike our guy. Being popular is good, but he sits so far from the customers. Does he have any professional spirit? Under normal circumstances, men at the host club have a habit of skin-to-skin contact to quickly increase favorability with customers. The other person explained, "This is Mr. Van's style. Many customers like this cold type. You're new, so you should learn from him." Hearing that, she snorted coldly. "Don't stupid women come here to be treated as someone important?" Then she turned her face away. "We're all clearly here to serve others. Yet he pretends to be aloof. Does he really want to build a monument to his virtue?" Seeing his bad karma, it was time for payback. As soon as he turned his face, he saw our guy. His eyes looked like he wanted to eat the person alive. He was so scared his face changed completely. Mr. Van is here. He tried to explain just now. I didn't, but he didn't even glance over. "Chu Kim, can I borrow some perfume? I just ran out." Chu Kim, whose hair was the same color as his name, came over. "Ah, okay. Miss Han is here." He nodded with a hum. He then approached and asked Miss Han. Chu Kim explained, "She's the young rich woman who became Mr. Van's number one. I heard that when Mr. Van first came to the club, his background was very miserable. If he hadn't met a rich patron, how could he have risen so quickly?" They didn't know he had very sharp ears. He heard everything. He heard them continue. "So he's very cold to everyone, but every time he receives Miss Han, he prepares a lot." He lowered his eyes. "But that's what I should do anyway." He remembered his abandoned childhood self. "Me, since birth, my body has not been like a normal person's. I can't be considered human." Even the doctor said to him, "Strange, your blood test came back inconclusive. Do we need to test again?" There was also no way to pass the school entrance exams or find a stable job. A physical condition not like a normal person's would be considered monstrous, unable to go to school or find a job. 3 months ago, he was pushed hard by someone. He could only come to this club. The people around him didn't need to mock him. So pathetic. The new guy doesn't say a word, but his skill at seducing women is not small. Should we give him a few lessons? All right, the owner doesn't allow trouble. Making a scene is not good. The other person threw a cigarette, but at him. He wanted to explode, but held it back, as if chanting a mantra. Endure. But the other person didn't stop. "But don't hurt his face. We can still have fun. Ha ha ha. Let him steal customers. Damn it, haha, what a dog." Saying that, he poured water on his head. He chanted a mantra inside, because emotional agitation could easily increase the abnormal transformation. "No, if I move now, I won't be able to control myself." Suddenly, a figure walked over, attracting everyone's attention. His eyes lit up. That person spoke. "Isn't this the restroom?" One of them quickly spoke up. "Sorry, miss. The restroom is in the adjacent hallway. I'll take you there. This is the staff room." She also replied, "Ah, sorry to bother you." "Then we shall." Before he could finish, she ignored him and pointed down. "It's him." The person she pointed at was him. Her voice was commanding, "Follow me." As if saved. Perhaps he would never forget the moment he met the light of his life. A voice called him, "Van Thwan, your customer is here." It startled him back to reality. He immediately replied, "Okay, I'm coming right over." That young man whose face had changed so quickly also spoke up, "I wish you success, Mr. Van." He was a little dazed. I'm remembering the past again. She clearly saw me turn into a monster. Why does she still dare to come? Stepping inside, he saw the familiar woman. Hontruk spoke first, Mr. Van. She seemed very happy to see him. "No, I mean Mr. Furry, long time no see." She waved, "Long time no see." Now, looking at her, his face was devoid of any emotion. Then he turned away. "I already said you were dreaming. Sit down first." She replied cheerfully, "Okay, can we find a private spot?" She put on a dangerous air. "After all, I have something to talk about today that's not convenient for others to hear." Suddenly, his steps halted. "Serving you as usual. What would you like to drink?" He was a bit suspicious. What is this enthusiastic feeling? It seems she doesn't believe she was dreaming at all, and her attitude is a bit too normal. She replied, "Let's just have the mixed drink from last night." Then they both sat down. A glass of orange juice, and then something to eat. But there are no ingredients here. Hearing that, he asked, "Miss Han hasn't had dinner yet?" She replied calmly, "Yeah, I rushed here right after work." She reminded him gently, "I was afraid you might suddenly transform, because monsters jump onto the street when they transform." He avoided the topic. "No, I wouldn't. Except for the host club, there's no other place that will hire me. After all, I suddenly disappear for a few days every week." Hearing that, she also wondered, "Mr. Van, are you short on money?" "I guess so. I want to earn enough money quickly and then retire." Hearing that, she burst out laughing. "Haha, how old are you?" "In your early 20s? The waiter brought the drink, but he quickly stopped it. "Don't drink it yet. It's cold. Drinking on an empty stomach will give you a stomachache." He stood up. "Wait for me a moment." Then he brought out a plate of cakes. I'll eat this first. Seeing this, her eyes lit up. She looked at the menu and wondered, grilled meat and vegetable sandwich isn't on the menu? He tilted his head and explained, it's a late-night snack I made. No one here pays attention to it. Hurry up and eat. She looked at the sandwich. You made it yourself? Perhaps she was wondering if it was poisoned, but she still took a delicious bite. On the contrary, she found it very tasty. Is Mr. Van this nice to all his customers? He was stunned and replied perfunctorily, it's just my duty. That's not what he thought in his heart. How could it be? She suddenly spoke up like this. His eyes were contemplative. It seems she's a little disappointed. She was also thinking a lot. That's fine, this is what I need. She bit her straw, determined. Seeing this, he had a bad feeling. Truck presented a stack of papers. Mr. Van, let's make a deal, shall we? He was confused. A deal? Yes, I used to think my problem was simple, that if I just interacted with men more, I could learn how to get a boyfriend from them. But it's very clear that dating is not easy. I got dumped again. He probed so. She pushed the contract on the table. Boyfriend contract. Since you need money, and I need a boyfriend to shut my family up, why don't we cooperate for mutual benefit? He slowly began to understand. You want me to pretend to be your boyfriend? She nodded. Yes, this should be simple for a professional like you. After all, you could develop feelings for anyone at any time. He clenched his fists. May I ask, why choose me? Aren't you afraid? Perhaps she hadn't expected this question. Maybe it's because I like your fur. I love holding it in my hands. She came and held his hand. Don't worry. If the contract is established, I won't tell anyone about your beastly matter. But she was also thinking, if you don't agree to the contract, this will be the last time I provide this service benefit. She lifted his arm alluringly. But since we're a couple, when you transform, Mr. Van, you can't hide it from me. His heart pounded, and he let out a soft cry. Ouch. It turns out she was the real wolf when she bit him. Of course, whether you agree or not is entirely up to you, Mr. Van. If you're not interested, I won't bother you anymore. She was really enjoying this, satisfied, so satisfied. He asked clearly, if I refuse, will Ms. Han not come to the host club anymore? She replied softly, yeah, there's no need. Anyway, it's a personal thing. If you want to sign the contract, you can contact me anytime. Before she could finish her sentence, he spoke up. No need. She turned to look at him. She sighed softly. Fine. After all, you're number one here with a high salary. It's true. Van really wants to find another host club. He turned and grabbed her arm. I'll sign now. She was stunned, thinking he would refuse. Perhaps he didn't want to be jealous, so he said decisively. I said, no need to think, I'll sign now. He signed the paper quickly, without any more hesitation. In the hotel, seeing the signature, she was also surprised. Oh, so this is Mr. Van's real name. She was quite certain, but he agreed too quickly. It seems he really is short on money. Then, 24 years old, 2 years younger than me. Well, that's fine too. Okay, no problem. She was very satisfied. All right, if there are no other issues, I will pay you according to the schedule. What you need to do is come to my house after I get off work and treat me with the attitude of a boyfriend. He also agreed. Yeah, I can come find you in the morning. The club usually operates from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. She folded the contract. But I work during the day, so I'm mostly free at night. It seems the only time we can be together is on our days off. I work in the morning, and you usually work at night. Can you wait for me to get off work at 7 and have dinner? This suggestion caught his attention. On the contrary, he quickly spoke up. Sorry, that means you've already guessed. I only take leave on the 2 days I'm transforming. Rest. His form back then, rather than a beast, it was more accurate to call a monster. This was what weighed on his mind. She was truly so persistent, learning how to live with men, even from the first time they met at the bar. Recalling 3 months ago, she spoke to him. So, about the service at your place, as long as one pays, you won't abandon a client no matter what. He asked back, why do you ask that? As long as they enter the bar, we treat all clients like your highness, the princess. We would absolutely never abandon a client. He avoided her gaze. I will prepare a suitable host for you in a moment. She questioned him again. She blocked his way. Can it be you? He was surprised. Me? She nodded. That's right. This mysterious lady. You will be the one to entertain her. He was somewhat hesitant. My words. How awful. But maybe she likes a thrill. Girls prefer the strong, shining types. Like a prince's manly personality, not necessarily. She lifted his chin. There are also those who shine, but are not as favored as those who are wounded and lamenting. She pressed on his wound, or those in circumstances that give them a weak, womanly appearance. I'm one of them. How about that? Extremely strange, right? She cut off his train of thought. It's no problem at all if you turn into a monster. Didn't I explain it before? I'm not exactly normal either. I can even tolerate your perverted DJ works. So, compared to humans, monsters are much more interesting. She reached out her hand, touching his cheek. To put another way, I like monsters. She thought to herself, after all, from childhood until now, the only one I've ever had feelings for was that little dog. She remembered that image again as she whispered, I like you the most. Turns out her taste is quite strange. He avoided her. Miss Han, let's not speak of this again. She then asked back, what? Are you worried I'm like Lord Yi who professed to love dragons? It wasn't her being afraid of him, but now he had to be afraid of her. If you feel that night was due to the effects of alcohol and can't be considered a test, Yuan can transform now to see if I'm scared. He was about to refuse. You don't transform unless it's time? But fate didn't allow him to think so. Suddenly, he shot up. What's happening? I just rested. Why is this feeling of not being able to control myself appearing? He hurriedly left. Miss Han, I'm sorry, I have to go. She was stunned. Huh? It wouldn't be that easy for her to let him go. Wait, there's still many things unfinished. She was worried about something else. Is this a sudden desire to break the agreement? He quickly pushed her hand away. We'll talk about those video matters later. Right now, sweat poured down like rain. Now again, he began to transform strangely and fell. She rushed over. Mr. Wan, are you all right? In her eyes was reflected the moving image before her. Living in this world truly has many interesting things. His legs turned into constantly moving tentacles. She didn't care and was about to rush forward. That, Mr. Wan. Before she could finish, he quickly shouted, don't come over here. He was in turmoil. I don't know why. The transformation has suddenly started again. My form has no rules at all. After turning into a monster, even if I can protect most of my consciousness, I will still continue to become that thing out of inertia. His eyes were worried. It's very dangerous. Those tentacles gradually became one. He shouted, go quickly. She was dazed while he was anxious. Damn it, this form has never appeared before. I still can't completely adapt. She reassured him, it's really okay. I'll maintain a distance. Is there anything I can do to help? She was even in awe. So it's not just turning into a dog. He seemed unable to keep his composure. No need for help. He struggled to resist. The body is split too much. I can't control it. Protect yourself well. As soon as he finished speaking, the tentacles had wrapped around her leg. He couldn't control himself and kept advising her, go home. The tentacles gradually climbed up her body. She was surprised, but not significantly. They're climbing up. He gritted his teeth. What should I do if I hurt her, the only one? Suddenly she grabbed a tentacle. Mr. Wan, no need to worry. These tentacles don't seem to have any ill will towards me. It seems they even enjoy being touched. He remained on high alert. Even so, you can't let her guard down. I temporarily have no way to connect to the entire nervous system. I don't know what impulse they're acting on right now. She pressed it, causing him to feel pain as well. It seems these tentacles like her a lot. When two strange people meet, it's like, rest assured, I'll move away when I sense danger. But right now, it seems that even if I bully it, it will still obediently listen. So she helped him to the bed. Now he should be afraid of her, not her of him. To still dare to come close while being covered by this thing. Should I say she's bold? She replied, what's this? It's just a bit of flesh. Speaking of which, how is your body? Does it still hurt? He was surprised. How does she know I'm in pain? He spoke up. It's fine, my bones are no longer being crushed. It seems only the lower body is transformed. Luckily, it's not full body tentacles. She then asked, so how long do we have to wait? The tentacles moved restlessly. Normally, under the effect of the transformation, it's half a day, but tonight was unexpected. I don't know how long it will last. So Miss Han, you should go home and rest first. She wouldn't agree. I'm not going back. This is a good opportunity to prove that we can meet even when you're transforming, as long as we don't get caught. He was speechless. We've already talked about this. She cut him off. Besides, I really do need to learn how to take care of others. Her eyes lowered. Before, when my blind date was sick, I was still busy with work, so I was forget it, it's not interesting. She was whimsical. In short, lovers must care for each other. If one side gives too much and the other too little, the training goal won't be achieved. She turned on her heel. I'm going to book a hotel room. You lie down and rest. As she was about to leave, a tentacle pulled her back. The tentacles seemed unwilling to let her go. They kept clinging to her, making her struggle. You bunch, let go for a bit. He turned his face away to avoid her gaze. Don't look at me. I can't do anything either. It's like I told you to go. No matter how hard she tried, the tentacles wouldn't let go. There was no escape. She came up with an idea. How about this? If you let me go, I'll let you guys cling to me however you want later. He thought she was going crazy. To actually negotiate with tentacles, what is she thinking? But in life, what's impossible when you're someone who likes small animals were words. The tentacles immediately let go. Right? I'll be right back. Then you can cling, wrap, or touch all you want. It's unknown what he thought upon hearing that sentence. The tentacles immediately released her. She was delighted. We can communicate. Thank you. Just like a puppy. So she walked over to the phone, relieved and at ease. He couldn't even do that. What is this? Her body has been touched for so long, yet she can still talk like that. He looked at the tentacles that were shooting hearts like crazy while she was talking. Yes, rent the room next door. Suddenly, a thought flashed in his mind. Could it be that they can really understand? No sooner said than done. He immediately said, "Don't move, stop." But the tentacles liked to do the opposite of what he said. He got annoyed. Let go. This is not recognizing its master. It had no effect. He looked over at her. What is she doing? She spoke up. All right, if you still haven't recovered by tomorrow, I'll stay another day. She is the epitome of capitalism. But I still have to go to work, so let's rest early tonight. He finally caught on. Miss Han intends to stay as well. She hummed in agreement, busy brushing her teeth. While rinsing her mouth, she continued, I was originally going to rent another room, but since I've already agreed with those little demons, I can't go back on my word. She showered, changed, and came out looking radiant. Besides, the contract says absolutely no goods for 30. I think Mr. One won't do anything to me. He wouldn't, but the tentacles would, which explains why kings in the old days were so obsessed with women. Night fell in that room. She slept soundly, oblivious to the world. Only he watched her sleep peacefully, deep in thought. She fell asleep so quickly, even though she's still being held captive. The tentacles moved restlessly. He smiled. She really hasn't changed at all. 18 years ago, she was snoring just like now. He looked at this little girl sleeping soundly. Because he was also taking a nap and woke up to find someone beside him, he spoke up. Hey, wake up. Are you a newly acquired experimental subject? Why did you run here? 8-year-old Han, Zhu rubbed her eyes. Subject. The sleepy girl's voice. I'm not. I just climbed over the wall. He was alarmed. Climbed the wall. How was that possible? Could it be that you climbed that super high wall? Now she was startled into realization. A talking dog. After all that rambling, he just remembered, crap, I can't let a normal person find out there's something strange about me. So he changed his tune and started barking like a normal dog. She remained calm. Even if I learn to speak dog now, I won't lose my mind. He knew he couldn't hide it anymore. Since you already know, why don't you leave quickly? He explained, outsiders are not allowed in the research institute. It's very dangerous if you get caught. She was stunned. But the sign outside says it's a Children's Welfare Institute. I've temporarily run away from home and don't want to. Go back. He didn't expect to meet such a reckless kid. What? No, you can't. Inside the walls are monsters that get injected with drugs every day. I'm a monster too. I might even eat you. He thought that method would be effective, scaring her away. Otherwise, she would end up like him, being cut up again and again by those adults. She was watching what he was doing and followed suit. Then her hands touched his. He was taken aback. What is she doing? What he thought was a romance turned into a comedy. She gave him a strong pull, then mercilessly threw him down. He cried out in pain. Now who's the monster here? He writhed. Ouch, that hurts. What did you suddenly do that for? She held out her hands in front of him reassuringly. Don't worry. Xiao Zhu is very strong. I won't be eaten by a monster, so Big Brother Monster doesn't have to worry about hurting Xiao Zhu. In that moment, he was moved by her, returning to the present, even if she has long lost her memories, becoming a complete stranger. She has never been afraid of me because of my strangeness. He clutched his chest. It's just. His eyes turned red as he remembered the image of her rushing into the fire, shouting, run. It haunted him. I have now lost the right to be by her side. The next morning, as the sun shone through the window, she groggily opened her eyes. Ugh, where is this? Waking up to see a handsome guy next to her, she replied. Huang. Then she remembered. All right, last night after Mr. Wan's transformation, we stayed here. I wonder if he's better now. Her whole body couldn't move. There was something hard. Why can't I move? A bad premonition suddenly appeared. She threw off the blanket only to see the tentacles moving restlessly. So many. She spoke up. Let go quickly. She was a little embarrassed. Why are you even inside my clothes? It's slippery and uncomfortable. I'll play with you guys after work. Okay? But she still couldn't move. His head was groggy as he woke up. Miss Han is awake. She's having a hard time with these tentacles. Mr. Wan, just in time. Yesterday, the tentacles were very well behaved. Today, they suddenly won't listen, and they've tied me to the bed. It was a world-shaking shock to him. He was about to speak. She looks very worried. The sensation from the tentacles is coming through. Then the tentacles wrap tightly around her, constantly sliding, refusing to be controlled. Those tentacles wrapped tightly around her, moving to suggestive places. She was startled. What are you doing now? Seeing this scene, his eyes also grew hot. He shyly turned his face away. I'm sorry. I explained yesterday. I temporarily have no way to completely control them. He was determined not to give up. No, I can't look at Hanju anymore. My body is reacting even more strongly. He tried to calm down. But after a night of synchronization, I can roughly distinguish the movements of these tentacles. Can you give me some time? She had no problem with it. Okay, thank you for your hard work. He was so worried that sweat poured out. Under normal circumstances, the transformed parts will gradually increase their adaptation with the body over time. It's just that they operate on an instinct to cling. This point will connect with my thoughts. Then he looked at the tentacles as if chanting a mantra. This tentacle has successfully connected. This tentacle is also no problem. And this one, when he saw that spot, his heart beat wildly. The tentacles are also a part of the body. A glow was emitted, a strange feeling, as if many versions of myself are touching Hanju's skin. She tried to endure it. Her face flushed as she asked, "Is it not done yet? They're taking quite a bit of advantage of me." Just as he was about to achieve enlightenment, that sentence pulled him back to the mortal world. Almost. This phrase is very familiar. She asked pointedly, "How long is almost?" At this point, she was just short of kowtowing. Although we decided to pretend to be a couple, it's certain that we can't avoid intimate contact. But this kind of feeling is like playing, it's still too embarrassing. He was trying his best, and she could be considered sympathetic. But there was really no other way. If she pulled away, Mr. Wan would get hurt, right? He was about to achieve true enlightenment. All right, one last one to update. The entire connection can release her. A leading tentacle seemed to have found its target, and she was the only fish in the net. He had just noticed that tentacle, and it launched a powerful attack. He was startled. Wait, what does it want to do? He quickly shouted, "Be careful." There was only one thought in his mind. Control it immediately. Who would have thought that the tentacle would only give her a light kiss on the cheek? Even she was startled. It seems to have kissed me. He was slightly petrified. Then it retracted its hand and watched her play with it. Oh my, should I also respond in kind? No sooner said than done. She actually kissed it back. He blushed, his mind in a mess. A kiss, it's coming through. He couldn't help but let out a grunt. Suddenly, the tentacles retreated, leaving her in astonishment. She spoke up. "Mr. Wan, are you able to control your body now?" "Your leg." At the same time, the tentacles also disappeared. He was surprised. The tentacles, they're gone. Impossible. While he was not accepting the truth, she had already stretched. What's impossible? Phew. Finally feel lighter. My hand was squeezed too much. He put his feet on the ground. Since I was born, I have never suddenly recovered during a transformation process. She then asked further. So, whether it's the previous transformation or stopping now, it seems to be related to you. This is extremely strange. His eyes glanced over at her. In the end, why is that? She had no idea. At the headquarters, Zhilu Jewelry, the esteemed lady boss was walking out in frustration. How would I know? Although it said that I don't need to clock in, it seems that in the past 2 years, this is the only time I've been late. Luckily, Mr. One only gets off work in the afternoon, so it doesn't affect him. Her eyes were pensive. But in this world, do people who can transform really exist? Her expression changed immediately. Interesting. A small voice called out, President Han. She turned around to see someone waving. President Han, are you not feeling well? Both were standing in front of the boss's office. She then let out an "Oh." What's wrong, Xiaobai? Xiaobai looked timid and whispered, This morning. She stiffened. My mother came to check on me. She broke out in a sweat. My family is here. Then she pushed open the door and walked in, speaking up. Mom, why didn't you tell me before you came? Her mother let out an "Oh." The woman in front of her was Wang Jinli, Hanju's mother, the chairwoman of Zhilu Jewelry, who then asked softly, "Of course, a company inspection has to be a surprise. Otherwise, how could I catch the general manager sleeping in? 100 days of being on time can't make up for 1 day of being late," she mumbled. "I didn't oversleep, I was just late." She scratched her head. It's just that an unexpected situation occurred. A friend had a problem. She said this without realizing her mother was noticing the wound on her hand. She immediately stood up. "Wait, is your wrist injured?" She was taken aback. Injured. Without saying much, she came over to check. Now she was scared. Isn't this mark from Mr. Wan's tentacles? A fearful look appeared somewhere, sending a chill down her spine. Who did this? Who dares to touch a daughter of the Han family? She was momentarily flustered. How do I handle this? The mark from the tentacles doesn't look like it was caused by a human. If I let my mother continue to investigate, she might directly take me to a hospital for an examination, because my mother is the type of domineering person who doesn't listen to anyone at all. She gritted her teeth. But if the worst-case scenario really happens, Mr. Wan's secret will be in danger. So this is the only way. She spoke softly. Mom, first, please calm down and listen to me. No one hurt me. I made this mark myself. Her mother didn't understand at all. Huh, what do you mean? It doesn't look like you did it to yourself at all. Her face suddenly turned red, and sweat poured down like rain. That is to say, your daughter is very interested in that kind of thing. I recently got a boyfriend, and last night we tried it. Besides tying me up, we didn't do anything else. Those images started to appear. Her mother froze on the spot. A man and woman thing. A fake smile appeared. Of course, after trying it, I found it very painful and discovered that I'm a normal person. She was feeling exhausted. It's so tiring to pretend to be submissive if it weren't for protecting Mr. Wan. Only then did her mother speak. Is what you just said true? She nodded vigorously. Every word is true. I'm a normal person, and I've successfully gotten a boyfriend, so you don't need to rush me anymore. She had a whole plan. Take this opportunity to carry out the fake boyfriend plan. She sat down to talk, pressing her advantage. If you're not at ease, I can bring him to meet you after some time. She was just saying it for fun, but her mother didn't think so. Then let's meet next week. A double kill. She was in a panic. We haven't known each other for long. Isn't it too soon? Her mother secretly guessed. It must be that after being dumped by her blind date, she bought that Zhang Wanshun guy at the bar. She then placed an invitation in front of her. What's there to be rushed or not rushed about? Next week is the Li family's banquet. Young Master Li was Han Zhu's first blind date. Her mother gently reminded her. I was originally planning to take you to make up with young Master Li, to ease the relationship between the two families. But since you already have a boyfriend, it's convenient to bring him along, to prove that a daughter of the Han family is not inferior. She laughed coldly. That Mrs. Li always boasts about how outstanding her son is. Let's see if he can find a new girlfriend that quickly. As for her, she was silent. Her hand clenched tightly. She softly called out, Mom, but then she fell silent again. Only by bringing a boyfriend can I prove that I'm not inferior. Still at the same familiar bar, she was explaining to Wanshun. In short, not attending the party will arouse my mother's suspicion, because the fake boyfriend plan has become a bit complicated. So, Mr. Wan, are you free to go with me on Wednesday night? I'll increase your salary by 30%. He thought for a long time. I can go at night, but I can't stay until the early morning. He then explained, my transformation cycle. Only then did she remember. Right, Mr. Wan turned into a wolf that night, which was Thursday morning. It's just like Cinderella's transformation time, perhaps. She chuckled softly. But it's okay. The banquet is a basic social event. It won't go all night. He looked over at her. What is she laughing at? And he also agreed. Okay, I'll pick you up after work. She nodded. Thank you for your hard work. I'll probably spend some time at your bar recently to prevent my mother from asking questions. He was fine with that. Okay, I'll also adjust the schedule on my end to accommodate your stay. Suddenly, he let out a sigh. He turned to look at her. Although there was a lot he wanted to say, he wanted to ask her first. She was curious. Ask what? 7,749 scenarios flashed through her mind. Pretending to be a bartender probably won't expose his information. His expression turned serious again. Are you really wanting to act as a couple with me? She was certain. Of course. Sincerely and not fake. He turned back, temporarily accepting her answer. Okay, if that's the case, let's go along with you. Two lovers can't address each other as Ms. Han and Mr. Wan. Right now, we don't seem like lovers at all. That sentence struck her like a bolt of lightning. Hearing that, she also thought it was true. Right, just as he said, do the two of them look like a couple? More like partners, it's too obvious. Hanju secretly glanced at him. You mean we should change how we address each other? He replied, not exactly, but this is the first thing we need to do. He continued, the distance can be explained by us not having been in contact for a long time, but intimacy can't be faked, it can only be acted. She let out an ah. Not a love expert at all. She was amused. Okay, then for now on I'll call you Wanshun or boyfriend. How about that? Taking 2 words from a 3-word name is fine, or Mr. One can give me a nickname. He lowered his gaze and thought. A nickname. Then asked again, do you not have a specific one in mind? She was very innocent. No need, you choose. He paused for a moment to pour wine in her glass. Then, after he put down the wine bottle, the whole process was unhurried. He came closer to her. Their eyes met. If that's the case, can I call you Xiaozhu? No, she was a little flustered. Of course, it's very common. Something feels strange. What is it? His face is suddenly so close. Suddenly, that name echoed in her mind, Xiao Zhu. She remembered the image of her playing with a dog. It barked a few times, woof woof. She hugged it and rolled around on the grass. The two of them were very close before. Woof, Xiao Zhu. Those memories came flooding back. Making her dizzy, she let out a grunt. He was worried. Miss Han, are you all right? She reassured him. I'm fine. My head suddenly hurt, remembering a little friend from long ago. She felt there was something hidden. It seemed like I heard a dog's voice, but how could that be? Dogs only know how to bark woof woof. He suggested, Miss Han, if you're uncomfortable, I can give you a simple massage. She was surprised, not expecting him to be so multi-talented. You know how to massage. He explained, working in the service industry, you have to know a little bit of everything. She replied as if she had already started lying down. Is that so? It would be a waste not to take advantage of a massage from a handsome guy. Then I'll trouble you. But shouldn't a boyfriend remember this agreement? Why did he call me Miss Han? His eyes avoided hers. After all, he was still at work. They could be intimate in private. She was not satisfied. There's no one here now. No need to mind. Choo-choo. So, she also explained the reason from before. Just now, when you called my name, it made me remember my childhood. It felt so nostalgic. At that time, I really liked to run and play in a small garden, because in the garden, there was an incredibly cute dog. Hearing this, he seemed a little startled and used quite a bit of force, making her cry out. She was dazed. What's wrong? Why the sudden force? Even so, I still like it a lot. Although it's comfortable, the service is impeccably good. He stroked her gently. Was the pressure too strong? I'm sorry, I'll be gentler. He then probed. Speaking of which, Miss Han must have been very loved as a child, right? Why do you only remember a single dog? Was there something special about it? She replied calmly. I wasn't particularly loved. It's just that in my family, they only cared about my older brother. They never remembered that there was also a doll-like little girl like me. She remembered when she was little. She opened a door and accidentally heard her parents arguing. When Han Zhu is a little older, send her to the Wang family as a child bride. Her mother shouted, did a dog run off with Han Can? That's your own daughter. Every time, it would wag its tail and bark woof woof, as if I was a part of that dog. It was also the only living being that proved the meaning of this body of Han Zhu's existence. As she spoke, a nostalgic look appeared in her eyes. So I liked it very much. Only his eyes gradually dimmed as he looked at her. So that's how it was. But in his mind, he thought differently. Han Zhu's memories have indeed been altered to be very vague. She doesn't remember that I was the little dog from her childhood who talked to her before transforming. And that memory has turned into a normal one between a person and a pet. Is this enough? She noticed his actions, while he gritted his teeth and reminded himself. He absolutely could not let her regain her memory. The banquet scheduled for Wednesday had arrived. In the incredibly luxurious grand hall, she walked in with him, waving and calling out, Mom, we're here. Her mother let out a surprised "oh." Wang Jili looked at him. This is quite handsome. She then introduced him. I've mentioned him before. This is Zhang Wanshan. Come on, Wanshan, my mom. As she finished, he immediately bowed his head in greeting. Hello, Annie. His gaze was resolute. I am Xiao Zhu's boyfriend. In that moment, he looked very handsome, causing the heart of the girl beside him to skip a beat. She glanced over. Mr. Wang was smiling, and it was a very happy smile. She placed a hand on her chest and wondered, why is my heart suddenly beating so fast? Maybe it's because I've had insomnia these past 2 days. At this moment, Mrs. Wang spoke to him. Oh, this young man is so handsome and so tall. Han Zhu's taste in men isn't bad. Although he doesn't have a stable job yet. It's okay. The Han family. She cut her off, calling out, Mom, aren't you going to say hello to Mrs. Li? I think she's over there. Her mother was startled and really did turn to leave. Oh, I must go and say hello. She then explained to him, see that person over there? That guy is the blind date I had last time. He's also my childhood friend from the time. We were students, Li Changfeng, 27 years old. The young master of the Li family politely replied, Hello, Annie. His hearing was selective, and he immediately asked, Childhood friend. His eyes filled with contemplation as he recalled. It seemed she had mentioned it before. Flashing back to their childhood, she lay on his lap. There's so many reasons for me to hide here. She then recounted, Dad wants to marry me off to someone. That person keeps bothering and bullying me. He felt a pang of heartache listening to her. Bullying? He asked again. She explained. He's a weird classmate. You could also consider him a childhood friend. I don't know why he likes to badmouth me with his group of friends all day. He also pulls my hair, tears my books. He's extremely hateful. That group of people came and laughed in her face, tearing her books just as she said, and spoke loudly. Look at Hanju. She's so strong. She's basically not a girl, right? Having long hair makes people laugh to death. He was stunned. Why would they treat her like that? Xiaozhu is clearly not a monster, nor has she done anything wrong. She turned over. Maybe they just simply hate me. It says in books that people will have an aversion to things that are different from their perception. Maybe he thinks I'm not like other girls, that I'm strange compared to them. He was silent for a long time, looking at her with a complicated expression. Then he spoke softly. That's right. I was also abandoned by my parents because of my innate ability to turn into an animal. She caught the keyword and spoke up. Parents. Her eyes sparkled. Could it be that Xiao Shun is also a human, not a dog? He heard this, and his pride was deeply wounded. What dog in this world can talk? His eyes drooped, but I heard the researchers say, a long time ago, a meteorite fell to Earth, and after that, a small number of mutants appeared on Earth. These people are born with unstable forms. They can turn into living animals or even objects. She listened with the mindset of a child hearing a fairy tale. Wow, that's so magical. So can Xiao Shun turn into a person? He avoided her gaze, letting out a that made her excited. That's great. Can you transform for me to see? No sooner said than done. He really did it. It was indeed almost time for the change. He stammered, I don't know if Xiao Zhu will like it, my human form. She immediately sat up and touched his face. Cute, so adorable. His face looks so baby-faced and cute. Oh my God. He shyly turned his face away. No, not at all. She was like any other girl. Really, you look so adorable. You have very special white hair. If my childhood friend was Xiao Shun, then it would be so much better. Returning to the present, she was reminding him. In short, your mission today is to make my mother believe that we are really in love. To avoid her nagging every day, she kept whispering, not noticing that Li Chengfeng was paying attention to her. As for this young Master Li, it's a small matter. Let's go and provoke him. He asked again, so you don't want to have anything to do with him anymore, right? Right? Li Chengfeng had set his sights on her, while she detested him. This guy is very difficult to deal with. If he targets you, it will only be troublesome. If he targets you, just let me handle it, lest we get exposed and we're both done for. The two of them whispered without paying any attention to their surroundings. Li Chengfeng grabbed a glass from a nearby table and slowly approached, flashing a very friendly smile. Miss Han, how have you been since we parted ways? Let's talk for a bit. She refused him outright. Our relationship is a bit delicate. It's better if we don't talk for now. It would be better if young Master Li found someone who likes you to talk to. He immediately changed the subject. Miss Han is really quick to forget things. I don't have anyone who likes me, but the one standing next to you, miss, is... Oh, well, he is... Before she could finish, he took a step forward and introduced himself. Hello, who I am is not important, but Hanju hasn't had dinner yet, so she can't talk with you right now. Please excuse us. His stepping forward surprised her. Wang Jinli also noticed from a distance. She smiled to herself. Cool, worthy of being a professional. If I didn't know beforehand that these things were within Mr. Shun's professional scope, I would have thought he was really jealous. Her mother's gaze seemed very satisfied with him. Indeed, she was truly satisfied and was even whispering with Mrs. Li beside her. Now, it was her turn to give a light cough. It's basically like this. With that, she went and put her arm around his shoulder. So let's go over there and not bother young Master Li anymore. It's not clear what Li Chengfeng meant when he shouted, "You," startling her before she could react. Suddenly, a hand grabbed his wrist. I thought it would be the guy, but it turned out to be the girl who acted first, giving a gentle reminder. Mr. Li, may I ask if there's a problem? Her eyes stared at each other like bullets. Li Chengfeng clicked his tongue and shook her hand off. Hanju, don't you know how to change? You've been like this since you were little. I really can't bring myself to like you. I originally thought you would never be scared, and you've never been like the person next to you fawning. But perhaps you're an exception, as you threw him down in one move. Sorry, he always thought she would definitely stand by my side. Not only that, but he also constantly provoked her. Hey Hanju, this young master invites you to go singing. It seems he thinks a little too highly of himself. But why don't you have me? Let me roll my eyes. She coldly turned her face away and refused. Sorry, I have an appointment. Even now, she also coldly turns away. Sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. Wan Shun, let's go, leaving him standing there alone like so many times before. In the women's restroom, she felt extremely satisfied. Mom is very pleased. The Li family also didn't cause trouble. Just wait a little longer and we can go home. Besides, it's also for his sake. We have to leave before dawn, otherwise Mr. Wan might be transformed into... Her train of thought was suddenly cut off when someone walked in. Hello. Could I have a moment of your time to talk? The person who had just entered was the heir to Hangsher Technology, Xiang Tianji, female, 28 years old. She gently approached and began to speak. My surname is Xiang Tianji. I work at the Hangsher Group. You're Miss Han who deals in precious stones, right? She was not only into handsome men, but also beautiful women. Wow, such a handsome sister. If we weren't in the restroom, I would have mistaken you. She immediately shook her hand. I'm Hanju. I've heard of CEO Xiang's reputation. May I ask what you need? Xiang Tianji scratched her head. Haha, I actually have a few things I'd like to ask of you. Xiang Tianji got to the main point. I am planning to propose to my boyfriend of many years soon, and I'm preparing to buy a ring, but the style of the ring is a bit special. I've been to 100 shops, and all 100 have refused. She was touched. It's rare to see the woman propose. She grasped the main point, special, as long as it doesn't exceed the material's limits. It should be possible to make. CEO Xiang was a bit hesitant. How to explain it? I want to create many of them in various sizes from 1 centimeter to 5 centimeters. A men's ring style that gradually gets smaller. Price is not an issue. She was startled. 5 centimeters? Is that a bracelet? What's the use of making so many? A bunch of question marks appeared in her head. Could it be that she has many boyfriends, but doesn't know their measurements? Xiang Tianji then explained, I was worried about being asked over and over, so I couldn't get customized. I can't say the reason. Everyone has some secrets. Hanju understood immediately. Okay, then I won't ask anymore. I thought it was something difficult, but this is simple. It would be best if you could come to our company when you have free time to choose the style more carefully. Joy appeared on Xiang Tianji's face. Really? Thank you so much. Then I'll be counting on you. Back in the grand hall, he was standing alone in a corner, avoiding gazes. He was eating and thinking. Hanju has been gone for so long. He was feeling not quite right. His body felt a bit restless. He had to suppress it. As he was chilling, a figure approached. Yo, Mr. Wan is here? He just spoke up. If you're looking for Hanju, she went to the restroom. Li Chingfeng was still polite. I know, but I came to find you. He turned around. Sorry, this humble one is not acquainted with you. He went straight to the point. Leave Hanju, what are your conditions? I didn't want to imitate the evil women in movies who use money to crush people. I just feel that you might need it. He just looked at him out of the corner of his eye without saying anything. Li Chingfeng was still slightly delusional. As a bartender, you must want to have a shop of your own, right? Just break up with Hanju, and I will immediately transfer. He immediately cut him off. Don't you understand? He said in a low, threatening voice. How can your small shop compare to the entire Han family? Li Chingfeng froze. You mean you're not planning to? He put down his food. Correct. It's very unfortunate. I'm not that stupid. Accepting the offer only gets me one shop, but if I can make Miss Han serve me, then I will be the future son-in-law of the Han family. So if Mr. Li wants me to leave Hanju, he gave a very friendly smile. Then you should offer something worthy of the Han family. Don't you agree? Li Chingfeng was startled and stepped back, already scared, so unprofessional. This guy's ambition is actually... He gritted his teeth, but luckily he was prepared. Just then, Hanju walked out and spoke. What are you two being so secretive about? She walked over to him. There's not much time left. Let's go home. He replied. Okay. On the other side, Li Chingfeng hurriedly put down his wine glass. Wait, Hanju. He took something out of his pocket. I have something I want you to hear. After hearing it, he made his decision. It was that he had recorded the entire conversation just now. If I can make Miss Han serve me, then I will be the future son-in-law of the Han family. His tone was provocative. You still want to go with him? His eyes looked quite confident as the recording continued to play. How can your shop compare to the entire Han family? If Mr. Li wants me to leave the Han family, then bring out something worthy of the Han family. Everyone stood in silence, listening. Li Chingfeng was full of provocation. Hanju, do you realize who the person beside you is? He's not as obedient as you think. And he's also eyeing the Han family's assets. He glared. In contrast, she didn't seem to care much and linked her arm with his. I know. Then she turned and walked away. Let's go. Ignoring Li Chingfeng running after her from behind, calling out, Hey, don't you get it? He doesn't like you at all. He's just using you, and you're still stubbornly refusing to see it. It was her turn to counterattack. So, Mr. Li, are you saying these things because you like me? You're overstepping your bounds. Our family's business. Mind your own. Li Chingfeng stood there, gritting his teeth in anger. As for him, walking beside her, he couldn't help but glance at her. His heart couldn't help but beat rapidly. In the parking lot, her voice was cheerful. Good. The trouble has been resolved. Let's go home. Normally, she stays at her apartment and doesn't go back to the villa, so when she opened the car door, she asked him, "Where do you live? Is it on the way to the company?" "I've been drinking, so I can't drive. I need to find a designated driver." He replied, "No need, I can drive. It's on the way to take you home." She was nonchalant. Great. She got into the car. "Just drive the car away. See you next time." "No, that's not right." She then asked him, "Since you've taken leave anyway, how about you just drive to my place? There's a guest room." His mind, however, was not on this matter. "You don't seem to remember what just happened at all." She was taken aback. "What?" His eyes turned cold. "I am a person with ill intentions towards the Han family, a terrible man who is using you to climb higher." She was silent for a moment before speaking. "Does Mr. One really think so?" "Yes." The car continued to run smoothly on the road. He also replied while driving, "To obtain a large fortune so easily. It's an opportunity that everyone dreams of, isn't it?" She nodded. That's fine too. But marrying into the family is not the same as being a lazy person. If you want to hold power, you have to get in first and achieve a lot to prove yourself." He was slightly startled. "Do you know what you're saying? Aren't you worried that after getting married, a man who doesn't love you will run off with half of your assets?" She was still very calm. "Of course I know. Otherwise, how could I have gotten to where I am today? But since Mr. Wong can say it so directly, it proves that everything you said to CEO Lee was intentional. I don't feel that you're interested in the Han family's fortune, or perhaps I should ask, if I really used money to buy your marriage, would you be willing?" He froze, silent for a long time. "Why wouldn't I be willing? Where does love stand compared to money?" He recalled his childhood, overhearing a conversation through a crack in the door. "The capital from the Han family has arrived. We could speed up the research." They're practically our major shareholders, right? They always give the most money. It seems they really support the nurturing plan. "That's right. I heard the test subjects were also bought by the Han family. Otherwise, the people behind the research institute, how could they lay a hand on others?" "Sigh, that bunch are just humanoid monsters. It's fine if they die." He stood there listening, rage boiling inside him. Another day, he softly called her name. "Hanju." There was some doubt in his mind. "Although I don't want to doubt her, Xiaozhu also seems to come from a big family. Clan. Have you ever heard of the Han Corporation?" Hearing this, she rubbed her eyes and woke up. She was nonchalant. "I've heard of it. It's extremely familiar, because that's my family." Hearing this sentence was like a bolt of lightning to him. Then suddenly another voice spoke. "Mr. Wan." She sat up and called, "Mr. Wan, what are you thinking about? Why aren't you answering?" He snapped back to reality. He quickly regained his composure. "Sorry, I was too focused on driving." "What did you just say?" She replied, "Nothing, just drive carefully." She stretched. "Even if I agree with what you said, a job has a higher return than investing in a life partner. But sometimes I want to try fighting for someone with all my might, like a moth to a flame." It seemed like he was about to transform, but his mouth still replied, "There's nothing interesting about a moth flying into a flame, especially when the strength of the two sides is too different." She laughed awkwardly. It's okay." She continued leisurely. "Even if I didn't have any power before, now I have faith in myself. I can definitely do something to help my partner." He fell silent, only whispering. "Without power, everything is very chaotic." She tried to strain her ears to listen. "What did you say, Mr. Wan?" "I couldn't hear clearly." He avoided the question. "Let's not talk about it. We're almost at the apartment. Please have a safe trip." She didn't ask again and got out of the car. Thank you for your hard work. Are you sure you don't want to come to my place for a bit? The time we've had to get to know each other is too short." He shook his head. "Inviting a man into your home is a very dangerous thing. Miss Han, please have some self-respect." She then asked, "What are you rambling about?" Honestly, she didn't quite understand. "We've already slept in the same room. Why hesitate over these things?" He quickly covered his face. "All right, don't mind me. Just go." She suddenly turned back. "Wait, Mr. Wan's transformation seems to be early again." She was flustered, momentarily not knowing what to do. Then she rushed into the car. She quickly ran in to hide him. The security guard outside saw and was curious but did nothing. Arriving at the 23rd floor of the apartment building, the elevator doors opened. She was panting. "All right, something was moving under that coat. My building has closed management. No one could sneak in." With that, she looked down at the moving thing. She pulled it open. Transforming back into tentacles was shocking enough. "I didn't think there was this kind too. He's become a white bear. It's a complete transformation." Hearing this, he got sulky and roared a few times. She understood the problem. "What's wrong? Can't you talk in this form? Then what do you eat to live? The kind without seasoning." Like a joke, he roared again. She was amused. Just kidding." So she opened the door, reminding him, "But don't just relieve yourself anywhere. We'll figure out the rest after you recover." He was surprised. So many tricks. She likes dogs so much. Every single one is small and cute. She instructed, don't just bite things randomly. He couldn't speak, but it's not like he had really become an animal. No way I'm biting things. I wouldn't even if you paid me. She led him inside. You'll sleep in the living room tonight. My beds are all about 2 meters. You should be able to fit, right? He shook his head. It'll be crushed. And he himself didn't understand what he was doing. She looked at him and only felt immense love. What? You said that's great? Do you want to order sashimi or eat salmon tomorrow morning? I have to order quickly or it won't be delivered in time. He was hopelessly unable to hide it. Silence means agreement. She went to place the order immediately. Hello, I'd like to buy 1 high-quality salmon. He couldn't speak and could only endure it. Eating human food is fine too. So now he was huddled in a corner of the bed, trying to squeeze in. I can't sleep on this bed. He tried to squeeze in, but it was no use. He couldn't fit, and he also wanted to lie on the floor all night. He was dejected. I've caused her trouble again. If this continues, sooner or later, I will hurt Hanju, just like that time. When he was young, he found out the truth and couldn't control himself. Do you know who is responsible for what I've suffered? She was stunned. What's wrong? Suddenly so angry. He gritted his teeth. I trusted Xiaozhu so much. But Xiaozhu is on the side of those who want to kill me. Unable to control his emotions, he scratched her, making her cry out. It hurts. He choked her, and she understood even less why. Calm down first. Who wants to hurt you? I don't understand at all. He shouted loudly. You don't understand, but Xiaozhu suddenly appeared here. It's too strange. Clearly someone like me can't possibly be liked by anyone. You must have approached me with another purpose. Speak. What is your purpose for coming here? Horrifying things appeared behind him. She looked at the boy in front of her. Xiao Shun doesn't believe that I like him. She was about to say something. He didn't stop but shouted. Speak up. Do you want me to be an experiment? Or do you want to observe this disgusting form up close? She was silent for a long time. Clearly he was in wolf form just a few days ago. Why suddenly? He was angry. Isn't it because of your family? If it weren't for you people, I wouldn't have been injected with so many drugs. If it weren't for you people, I wouldn't be in so much pain. His tears fell on her face. She looked straight at him, speaking softly. Xiao Shun feels that if you kill me, you'll get revenge on those who harmed you, right? Hong. His eyes welled up with tears. I don't want to kill Xiaozhu. His hands let go, his voice trembling. But it's very painful. He hugged her. So painful that I don't know why it hurt so much. The horrifying things behind him gradually disappeared. He was in agony. I should hate you, but I can't bring myself to hate you, and I don't want you to hate me. She was silent, then caressed him. How about this? I'll help you escape. An offer that startled him. He lifted his head. What? She repeated her words. I said, I'll help you escape. A voice came from nowhere. Hanju, if you want to become an outstanding person, you should not be tainted by any stain. Otherwise, you will become the shame of the Han family. She was sleeping soundly, but the sounds kept echoing in her ears. Hanju, don't resist, and don't think about whether you are right or not. Obediently listening is the simplest, the easiest thing to do. She slowly opened her eyes. A horrifying scene appeared as she was bound and unable to escape. You just need to listen to the elder's commands. Listen. Suddenly, she opened her eyes, waking up from that terrifying nightmare. In the dead of night, she held her head. Did I have a nightmare again? She got up to get some water, her face still dotted with sweat. Lately, I've been dreaming of being entangled by a monster. It seems I also have some hallucinations sometimes. It's so strange. As she stepped out the door, she was startled. It seemed she had kicked something. What is that? Looking down, it was the white bear snoring soundly. He's sleeping at the door of the room. She just kept stepping on him like that, sleeping like a log. Doesn't even wake up when stepped on. Is he that tired? Speaking of which, it's clear that when Wan Shun turns into an animal, he can't talk. Why do I always have this kind of illusion that animals can also speak human language? She wondered as she poured water. An image from her childhood appeared. She quickly shook her head. Forget it. I can't project my vague feelings for that little dog onto Mr. Wan. This is disrespectful to both of them. After finishing the glass of water, her face was still contemplative. Li Qingfeng was not wrong about one thing. Mr. Wan is just a person who works for money. There's no way he could like me. But looking at the soft, fluffy fur of the sleeping creature, she couldn't control herself. Her covetous gaze appeared, so intense it sent a chill down his spine. But even if there are no feelings, he is now a furry animal, an extremely rare polar bear. So without much thought, she pounced on him, and he had missed the golden opportunity to wake up. This look of resignation is so familiar. What is Hanju doing? If I open my eyes now, we'll both be very embarrassed, especially in this perverted position. She, on the other hand, wouldn't stop. The real image was visualized by him. Well, playing dead is one way. Forget it. Pretending to be asleep is the best option. She'll get bored and leave on her own. He underestimated her as her eyes drifted to that spot. Speaking of which, when Mr. Wan turns into a polar bear, he doesn't wear clothes. I don't know if he's male or female. She simply wanted to see if a bear's two testicles were big and round. At this point, he had to be startled by her level of playfulness. Looking down, he saw that she had already spread them open. Hanju, why are you so, and even pinching that place? He blushed with embarrassment. No, I can't. Although I'm in bear form, my mind is still human. Is she a demon? She really sees me as an animal. But if this continues, it's not good, right? He had no choice but to put his leg on her, startling her. Hey, he's awake. She was the one doing it. Why was she blushing? She called out in a small voice, Mr. Wan. Seeing no one answer, she breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, he just turned over. She climbed up, her hands restlessly and continuously touching. This trip is more dangerous than it seems. Just now I was so tense I couldn't think of anything else. She snuggled into him. So soft, so warm, sleepiness is coming. She was delighted. I love this. He hugged her. He opened his eyes and realized something. Not being able to speak is also a crime. He screamed helplessly in his mind. What does this mean? Hanju, make it clear. But she was snoring soundly, and he had no way to speak. He gritted his teeth, his chest pounding continuously. His hands gradually transformed. And then he had transformed back into a person, holding her silently, not knowing what to say. The veins on her hand were popping. It turns out she was getting used to this feeling of losing control. The next morning, she was fast asleep in her own bed. By some force, she snapped her eyes wide open, sat up, and wondered, what is this? A clattering sound was heard, and she turned to look. A pair of slender hands were slicing sashimi. She walked out in astonishment. Mr. Wan, last night's sleep? Hey, have you recovered? He replied, yes, it's like the tentacles. They come and go quickly. She sat down on the chair, nodding. So that's how it is. Could it be that if you transform beforehand, the long mutation time can be shortened? He remained focused on his cooking, not forgetting to add, we've only had 2 similar situations. We can't draw a conclusion yet. That's right, I signed for the salmon. As he spoke, he cooked several dishes. It looked so delicious. A very large piece. Humans can't eat that much. I took the liberty of borrowing the kitchen. He continued, for lunch. His face was slightly flushed. What would you like to eat? She sidled up to him. Yo, so capable. Is Mr. Wan planning to make a bento for me? Salmon fried rice for breakfast. He hummed in agreement. I have nothing to do this morning. I'll bring it to your company when it's done. Lucky, this is better eaten fresh. The taste will be a bit different if you leave it for too long. She nodded, moving to the side to get something. That's true, it's been a long time since I've eaten at home. It's so nostalgic. Mr. Wan is so good. I want to marry you so badly. She said these words casually, but that very sentence sent ripples through him. He remembered back to their childhood when he was voraciously gobbling down food. She was beside him, giggling. Hee, eat slowly. I'm not going to steal it from you. He was startled because this was Hanju's lunch. Sorry, I've never eaten anything this delicious before. He finished everything before asking, is this little Ju's lunch? If you give it all to me, won't you be hungry? She didn't seem to mind. It's okay. I ate a lot this morning and haven't digested it all yet. And I brought snacks too. Let's try them together. She opened it to reveal a set of absolutely adorable-looking pastries, making him exclaim, oh, hey, it's a little dog. He noticed the most different one. But why is the gray one like that? She looked away evasively. The chef taught little Zhu how to make this. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make it round and cute. I guess I just don't have a talent for cooking. I'll learn the others in one go. He suddenly flinched. Could it be that little Zhu intentionally molded me? He whispered. The gray one looks a bit familiar. She quickly cut him off. Don't say it. She snatched the pastry back. You only get one chance. Forget it. This one doesn't taste good. Don't eat it. At this point, he became frantic. Hey, no way. It's clearly molded to look like me. You wanted to give it to me, right? He was determined not to lose to his future wife. No regrets. She tried to dodge, but it wasn't very effective. I'll wait. I'm about to fall. Just as she said, the two of them tumbled into each other. He was overjoyed that I got it. She, underneath him was flustered. Don't eat it. Anyone but her would have given up, but for someone like her, giving up was not in her vocabulary. This is the only way. Thinking this, she sat up and snatched the pastry with her mouth. She snorted coldly. I've already put it in my mouth, meaning it has my saliva on it. She even had a grimace while eating it. It's so hard to eat. He was furious. The food was at his lips, and it still got away. Naughty little Zhu, you think you can scare me away. When two stubborn kids meet, he went all in and ate the other end of the pastry. Finally, someone like her gave in and burst out. What are you doing? Unmarried men and women can't kiss, or they won't be able to get married. It turns out that's why she's been single until now. He calmly replied while eating, Is that so? His smile was just as mischievous. Then, little Zhu can just marry me. She was completely frozen, but he was very excited. After we leave this place, I'll marry you. She looked up. Really? Can little Shun replace the person my father arranged for me to marry? He said with certainty, MHM, a promise is a promise. She said nothing more, but smiled silently, no longer worried about being single. A promise is a promise, but life is not a dream. Although the promise was made early on, unfortunately, in the end, I still betrayed her. Somewhere in the bustling city, Hanju was in a discussion. Miss Yang, what do you think of this design? Large rings are easy to handle, but for rings that are too small, we will use micro-engraving technology. Xiang Tiangu was impressed. Haha, that's really clever. I'll take it then. Do you guys remember this lady? This is Xiang Tiangu, 28 years old, the heiress of Xiang's science and technology. She asked further, by the way, can you engrave a name on the ring? This little thing is a piece of cake. No problem. Send me the words you want to engrave, or tell me your lover's name. As they were discussing, a ringtone went off, and it was quite a ringtone. Darling, answer the phone. Xiang Tiangu was a bit embarrassed. Sorry, can I take this call first? How could Hanju refuse? Please, go ahead. But inside, she was silently judging. Using her boyfriend's voice as a ringtone in a public place. What more can be said? It's top-notch. She switched to eavesdropping mode as she heard her talk. Hello, I'm out. Not at the company. I'm not slacking off. I'm working, really. Believe me, I've been a bit busy lately. Xiang Tiangu seemed surprised by something. You're outside right now? Okay, don't come up. I'll come out to get you, Don't hang up. Hanju suddenly paid more attention. Xiang Tiangu scratched her head. About this, sorry Han, my boyfriend installed a couple's location tracker on my phone, and now he's downstairs waiting to check on me. She had a big question mark over her head. Xiang Tiangu was also in a very difficult position as she was preparing a surprise for her boyfriend. Maybe I'll bring him up. Can you help me pretend that we're just sisters meeting up? To fool him? She was processing it in her head. Location tracking, and even coming up to check. It's true that if you live long enough, you'll see everything. She gave a tentative nod. Okay. She was also judging quite harshly. Is that PhD boyfriend of hers okay in the head? The door suddenly opened, and a voice rang out. Tiangu, you're here. The door suddenly opened. Tiangu, are you in there? The man in front of them was Li Yu, a biotechnology researcher, Xiang Tianji's boyfriend. He yelled out. As expected, Tiangu, I really can't take it anymore. Your actions these past few days have been so strange, wandering through all the big shopping malls, but not buying anything. What on earth have you been doing behind my back? Xiang Tiangu spoke up. Haven't I already explained? I've become close with a new friend. We just made plans to go shopping and talk. Xiang Tiangu quickly made introductions. Here, let me introduce you. This is Hanju, my best friend. Hanju, this is my boyfriend, Li Yu. Even with Xiang Tianji's attempts to calm him, nothing could quell the murderous aura around Li Yu. He usually likes to lock himself in the lab and isn't used to interacting with people. If he offends you in any way, please forgive him. Hanju also greeted him. It's a pleasure to meet you. Li Yu shouted again. Lies. He snatched his hand back, his whole body trembling. Tiangu has never liked shopping, and she especially doesn't like spending the whole day with someone. Unless... Hanju was getting nervous. Unless what? Li Yu's shout stunned everyone. Unless she likes you. Hanju could only surrender to this. Is that so? We are both girls. Mr. Li is overthinking it. But Li was far from convinced. It's very possible for feelings to suddenly develop between people of the same gender. She froze on the spot. No, don't talk about people's orientations like it's flowing water, okay? Li Yu's eyes were brimming with tears. Tiangu must want to go astray because she hates me and finds me too annoying. He covered his face. The 7-year itch? Or is it because there's something wrong with me? I'll change. I'll really change. No, it seems like everything is wrong. I'm just a terrible man. She didn't think anyone could overthink things more than girls. He's starting to write and direct his own drama. Liu dropped to his knees. It's only right that Tian-ge doesn't like me. And then he hugged Xiang Tian-ge, sobbing. But I'm begging you, please don't leave me, Tian-ge. Can you not go? Don't say you want to go. She broke out in a cold sweat. Is this person okay? Is he really Miss Xiang's boyfriend? Xiang Tian-ge patted Liyu's head, also a bit embarrassed. Hey, Xiao Han, don't be scared by him. She scratched her head and explained. Liyu's emotions are quite unstable, but he would absolutely never hurt anyone. The positioning system was also installed with my permission. She also waved her hands. It's okay, I can understand. I just didn't think Miss Xiang would like this type. Xiang Tian-ge coaxed Liu. All right, I won't leave you get up. What two types? It's just that one day, I suddenly felt, this person is also very good. As she spoke, Xiang Tianji's face was radiant. Seeing Xiang Tian-ge like this, Hanju was also surprised. She was also at a loss with this couple. She said with a smile, Mr. Li, to be honest with you, Tian-ge and I are really just normal friends. The reason she's been coming to the store often recently is because, she said shyly, Oscar owes her an award. She wants to choose a birthday gift for her boyfriend, but hasn't decided yet, so she could only ask Tian-ge for help. Hearing this, Liu was startled. And she was sure she had in the bag. In short, just pretending the flower already has an owner is enough. Liu's expression changed instantly. So that's how it is. That makes sense. One person understands, two people are relieved. He scratched his head, returning to his normal self. That's right. How could Tian-ge leave me? It's good that you understand. Xiang Tian-ge rubbed her head with one hand. Really now, with the other hand, she gestured to her, good job, bro. She sighed at this pair of lovebirds. It's over. Now that the danger has been averted, then I should also. Before she could finish her thought, Liu spoke up. Well then, tell me your boyfriend's hobbies. Frozen for the second time. Huh? Liu said arrogantly. Aren't you trying to pick a gift? I'm a man too. I can give you some valuable suggestions. Who asked for the minister's answer? Hanju was one step away from kicking him out. Who needs your help, man? She politely refused. Haha, things like this aren't necessary. She thought to herself, am I supposed to say, I don't even have a boyfriend? Liu's sixth sense kicked in, and he asked suspiciously, why refuse? Could it be that everything you just said was a lie? Veins popped on her forehead for the second time. Mom, save me. Emergency script writing to have come this far only to retreat. Since I've already agreed to help Miss Xiang, I can only see it through to the end. She spoke up. My boyfriend, Suddenly, a voice came from outside. Sister Han, are you done being busy? Everyone's attention was drawn to it. Bai Xiao San pushed the door open. There's a gentleman who brought lunch for you. He said he's an acquaintance of yours. He's very handsome. The portion is quite large, so I wanted to ask if we need to arrange for a guest to eat. With you? She walked over and asked, where is he? Bai Xiao San pointed. Over there. He's setting down the food. She walked out and saw a familiar figure. Who else could it be? Wan Shun had just put the bag down. He looked up. Miss Han, am I bothering you? I'll leave immediately. Go where? She saw him as a savior and pulled him along. Don't go. Come over here with me. In the living room, four people sat at the dining table. The food was incredibly plentiful. It looked so delicious. She was the first to speak. Mr. Zhang is my boyfriend, so you don't need to worry about this anymore, right? Liu snorted coldly. I never doubted Tian-ge in the first place. Xiang Tian-ge at the side let out an "oh." Xiang Tian-ge looked at the food and praised it profusely. Did Mr. Zhang make all of this? That's amazing. Liu immediately became vigilant. She praised it profusely while eating. Hanju, you're so lucky. Liu whined and shook her. Tian-ge, I can cook too. Stop praising another man. Wan Shun whispered as he served her food. What are they doing? She said thanks and whispered back. I don't know, but you have to suffer with me. Xiang Tian-ge turned to serve food for Liu. But it's really delicious. You should try some too. He immediately blushed. If Tian-ge says so. He talked tough, but he was completely captivated. She hummed in agreement. The taste is indeed not bad. Liu was enjoying the food. Suddenly his heart started pounding. He shot up from his seat, making Xiang Tian-ge worry. What's wrong with you? Liu was panting heavily. There's peanuts. Hanju was startled. Peanuts? By then, he had already run outside. Xiang Tian-ge turned back and called out urgently. Miss Han, please close the door tightly. Don't let anyone else in. Hanju was still confused. Why so suddenly? She also immediately chased after them. If you're not feeling well, you should go to the hospital quickly. He also ran over and grabbed her hand, calling out, Hanju. She turned around. Huh, why are you pulling me? At that moment, he was frozen by what he was seeing. Xiang Tiangu came to his side. Ayu, be careful. Thump, thump. Li Yu's body underwent a strange transformation. Abracadabra, the person hidden in the long clothes. She looked at the scene and found it both strange and familiar. Hanju was stunned. He isn't he? Wan Shun, standing beside her, hummed in agreement. Mr. Li is probably the same as me. Xiang Tianga hugged the bundle of clothes that was squirming inside. We both have mutated human bloodlines. Liu inside crawled out, almost suffocating. Everyone sat down to talk frankly. Xiang Tiangu began to explain. Since you two have already seen it, then there's no point in hiding it anymore. As you've seen, my boyfriend does occasionally shrink, but he's not a monster, and he's still conscious, I can guarantee that. Both she and he huddled together to observe. So small. Liu panicked. Don't come over here. Unmarried men and women shouldn't be so close. I have a girlfriend. Xiang Tiangu reassured him. Don't be afraid. I'm here. Liu has been sensitive to peanuts since he was a child, although it's not serious when he accidentally eats things made with peanuts. His body will transform. It turns out that being small gives Liu the opportunity to be clingy. Xiang Tiangu also continued to explain. Sometimes he only grows or shrinks by a few centimeters. Other times he becomes incredibly small or incredibly large. Luckily this time it wasn't growing, otherwise the ceiling would have been in danger. He finally spoke up. I'm sorry. I didn't know Mr. Li had something he needed to avoid. Xiang Tiangu was cheerful. Don't blame Mr. Zhang. I also didn't expect the braised fish to have peanut sauce. It's not a big deal, as long as it didn't scare you too. Regarding matters related to mutated humans, please help keep it a secret. Then Han Zhu let it slip. Oh, so that's why you ordered so many sizes, to ensure that no matter what size he is, he can still use it? She knew she had misspoken. This time she might as well be invited to move to a mountain to live. No, the matter of the ring must be kept confidential. Liu became curious. Ordered. She quickly changed the subject. Each is Nolfing. She leaned on his shoulder and smiled. We won't tell anyone, because we also understand this type of human. Both Xiang Tiangu and Li were surprised. That evening at their usual spot, she sat down to enjoy herself and chat. I never expected Miss Yan's fiancé to have that kind of power. What a coincidence. Are there really that many mutated people? He hummed in agreement. She became curious. Why aren't you happy? You have friends now. His expression contradicted his words, because coming from the research institute, he naturally knew that there wasn't just one mutated person. No, I'm very happy. I was just thinking, although Mr. Li's mutation condition is peanuts. What is yours? He sat there thinking for a long time. She didn't know how to answer. Speaking of which, when Mr. Wan suddenly mutated, was I present every time? He hummed in agreement. No exceptions. She then smiled. Well then, since we've been together before, you can continue to come to my house tonight, and we'll experiment together. How about that? Only she could have such bold thoughts. Let's try it. At Hanju's house. She put the bag on the table. Strangers at first, but familiar later. Just make yourself at home. He hummed in agreement, but his eyes were on the stuffed dog next to him. Now that I know the situation, it's not like the previous times anymore. This week, my transformation time has naturally shortened. And although the time the tentacles grow has increased, I can probably only maintain the mutated state for one day. This is very strange. She walked over with 2 glasses of water. Is the shortened transformation time a bad thing? He took the glass of water. No, quite the opposite. Other people, even if they mutate, usually don't do it as frequently as I do. Basically, it's like Mr. Li, who has a similar type of mutation at some uncontrollable breaking points, causing different mutations. If he can only change size, he can only change size. If he turns into a wolf form, he won't deviate into other creatures. She became curious. Then why is Mr. Wan like this? He was silent for a moment. It's very complicated to explain. It's not important. In short, if the trigger point for the mutation is Miss Hanju, then we can indeed test it a bit. If we can control the frequency of the mutations, maybe I can get a normal job in the future. She tapped on her laptop, then looked over at him with a hum. Then she clapped her hands and changed the subject. Go take a shower first. You smell like a mixture of perfumes from the bar. It's giving me a headache. After you shower, we'll try immediately. He replied, okay, are you a guest? After you. She then said, I still have work to handle. You go shower first. He just replied, okay. Then I'll borrow your bathroom. She added, the new towels are in the drawer. In the bathroom, he took off his shirt, revealing a back that would make anyone long for it. A firm body, but his face couldn't relax. His face turned red. Why has our relationship suddenly become so close? I'm even using her bathroom. He took off his pants, still standing at the sink, thinking, no, don't think about meaningless things. This is all just a test. Hanju has no special feelings for me. His eyes were thoughtful, and my feelings for her too. He remembered back to their childhood when she called him. Little Shun, I secretly looked at my dad's computer, and now I finally understand. The reason the aunts and uncles at the research institute can find you is because there's a tracking chip implanted under the skin of the research subjects. To escape, you have to take it out. He then asked, a tracking chip, where? She bent down and pointed. It seems to be near the ankle. Can you feel it? She and he checked together. It seems there really is a mark of something inside. I noticed it before when I was showering. He asked again, but how do we get out? She pursed her lips. Is little Shun afraid of pain? Pain. I don't like it, but I'm not afraid. After all, I'm in pain every day. She pressed on his ankle. Then she asked seriously, so, little Shun, do you trust me? Contrary to her worried look, he was very happy. Of course, although I misunderstood you before, now I realize you're my most important friend. He grinned, and also the person I will definitely marry in the future. The wind blew through her hair. She lowered her head, her hands clenched, and hummed in agreement. Little Zhu will go back and read medical books. I'll be able to free you very soon. As promised, she had prepared all the medical instruments, but her courage was gone as her hands trembled. I'm extremely worried. I'm a little scared. What if I cut too deep? What if the adults discover the wound? He took her trembling hand and reassured her. It's okay. I can pretend to be unwell and need a rest for 2 days to avoid the experiments. It won't be discovered. Little Zhu is helping me by cutting it. She hesitated. But I've never done anything like this before. He then spoke up, cutting her off. Little Zhu. His eyes were full of determination. I trust you, so you can also trust me. She trembled and hesitated, looking at the boy in front of her. Come on. Then she returned to reality. He was still immersed in looking at himself in the mirror. He ran a hand through his hair and sighed softly. I thought I could forget, but it turns out I still remember so clearly. Zhangwan Shun, let go. You have to let go. Your existence only brings trouble. As he thought this, he pulled the door open. Everything was normal until he stepped in. For Hanju, just as he finished his thought, his eyes fell on women's underwear, and it was Hanju's. At the same time, she suddenly remembered. I think I forgot to put away the clothes hanging in the bathroom, and I think it was my underwear. She put down her device. Ugh, if Mr. Wan sees it, it'll be so embarrassing. She knocked on the door. Mr. Wan, are you showering? Can you open the door so I can get my clothes? She was met with a quiet space. She kept knocking and calling. Mr. Wan, are you in there? She also wondered, why is there no response? She felt something was wrong. The soundproofing is really good, but it's such a close distance. How could he not hear? And there's no sound of water. She heard a faint voice. Han. She pressed her ear against the door. It seems like there's a very tiny sound coming out. Hanju, you can come in. She was now certain. There really is a voice. She also opened the door and went in. Excuse me. Her heart was also a little uneasy. He's not going to mutate into something really weird, is he? And Tada, a tiny little thing, met her eyes. Oh my, Mr. Wan, why have you shrunk? He sat up. I don't know. After his body shrank, his voice also became smaller. She went to help him up, making him flustered. Hey, you, don't directly grab the pants. If he hadn't said anything, she wouldn't have noticed. Huh? Oh, you only wear briefs when you mutate? But if I don't use the pants to wrap you, you'll be naked. He turned away, blushing with embarrassment. She chuckled. Haha, although you've shrunk and it might not be clear, there's still a difference between men and women, right? Speaking of which, I wasn't with you when you mutated just now. Doesn't that prove that the previous times were just a coincidence? It actually has nothing to do with me. He turned his face away and replied, it has a lot to do with you. He was still wondering, why would you hang underwear in the bathroom? He spoke softly, so she leaned her ear closer. What? He noticed something else. Too close. He changed the subject. Today isn't a mutation cycle. It must be that external stimuli caused the changes. But first, please give me a handkerchief or a towel to use as clothes. These pants need to be washed. He was very embarrassed to say it. Doesn't she mind touching my underwear? And tada, a dollhouse appeared. He was lucky to have one surprise after another. He froze on the spot. What is the meaning of this? She scratched her head. I bought a dollhouse for my niece when she came to visit before. She giggled. How adorable. She even picked out a baby pink dress for him. He was helpless. As long as I don't have to wear it, it's very cute. Are there no clothes for boys? She rummaged through it. Aya, how can this kind of toy have clothes for boys? But then her eyes lit up. Hey, there really is. She held it out. There's a prince outfit. Children's toys these days are so amazing. She gave it to him. Put on. Then she turned around to make a phone call. I'm going to call Miss Young to ask for her advice on what to pay attention to when shrunk. You can take your time changing. He looked at the outfit and replied resignedly. Okay, well, it's better than nothing, and it's a prince outfit too. She was surprised once again. So handsome. Mr. Wan looks just like a prince from a fairy tale, a Tom Thumb prince. He was a little embarrassed, but if he were the cold CEO type, the other guys would just be names on a list. However, he looked up at her. Miss Han previously said she wasn't interested in the prince. She laughed. Hee, it's true I wasn't interested, but at least there's a little bit. Besides, Mr. Wan is so small, it's so cute. I like a lot. He was stunned. Like, in the middle of a romantic moment, she childishly blew hard at him. Just when he was looking handsome, his hair became a mess. Hey, what are you doing? She was amused. Haha, Miss Han said it's fine. Tiny people are very interesting. She poked him. It's almost like no matter what he does, there's no way to resist me. From a princess, she had unknowingly turned into a villain, even getting closer. How to make your boyfriend quickly liked by the family. Wang Jianli was welcoming. Welcome, welcome. I heard from Hanju that you specially took time off tonight to come here. You really, if you were busy, we could have rescheduled. He replied politely. It's all right, Annie, our work is very flexible. Back to how to make a boyfriend quickly liked. 1. Greet humbly and politely. He just asked, this uncle is? She immediately introduced them. Let me introduce you. This is my partner, Hanju's stepfather. You could just call him Uncle Chu. Uncle Chu shook his hand in greeting. Hello, my surname is Chu. My name is Chu Shun. Step 2. Give gifts according to their interests. Hanju quickly presented the gifts, which of course she had prepared herself. Oh, right, Uncle Chu. Wan Shun heard you like tea sets, so he brought one over. She also prepared something for her mom. And there's also bird's nest for mom. Her mother spoke, but her hands accepted it normally. Oh my, coming home, why bring things? Uncle Chu put the gift down and said, you must be tired, right? Quickly sit down. I'll make tea for you two in a bit. She obediently listened. Yes. Step 3. Help out in the kitchen. He was working very attentively. The 2 men of the family were busy in the kitchen. Uncle, is this good enough? Uncle Chu replied. It's good. It's good. I didn't expect the skills of young people nowadays to be so. Good. Hanju is usually busy with work, so I can rest assured leaving her with you. He answered with a yes. I usually try to cook simple dishes for her too. Suddenly he spoke up and asked, so, is it usually you who does the cooking? I thought there would be a nanny. From the looks of it, he also understood a thing or two about large families. Uncle Chu chuckled. Haha, we have temporary help, but your aunt prefers my cooking. As for me, I'm from a normal farming family. I don't pay much attention to such things. I just do what I can. The atmosphere suddenly fell silent. He said nothing more. Uncle Chu, can I ask a question? He was a bit hesitant. The uncle asked casually, what is it? He was about to ask. You probably don't feel. He stopped mid-sentence and went back to work. Never mind. Just pretend I didn't say anything. The uncle saw right through him, making him feel a bit exposed. Oh, you probably want to ask, when I'm with your aunt, do I feel pressure? Do I feel unworthy of her, right? Knowing he couldn't hide it, he had to admit. Yes. Uncle Chu chuckled. Haha, it's fine. Many people are curious about this. Your aunt, her previous marriage was indeed between social equals, but it was not happy at all. Then she met me, and although there were many conflicts and misunderstandings, but she would also laugh happily, get angry and break things, break down and cry in front of me. At that time, Uncle Chu extended his hand. Hello, I have a handkerchief. So I feel that even if our statuses are different, it doesn't matter. As long as she needs me, then I must be her best choice. He was silent, pondering what Uncle Chu had just said. The best choice? And whoa, could this be the 2-meter-long bed of a crown prince from those CEO romance stories? She was speechless, not knowing what to say, and he was also a bit frozen. What does Annie mean? He looked around. She said the guest room is under renovation. Only this room is left. She explained while tidying up. This was my room when I was little. He thought to himself, pink, so girly. She was also in an awkward position. Mom wants us to mess around together, but it will be weird to ask for separate rooms now. She also didn't understand her mother's excessive worry. Is she that afraid I won't be able to get married? She continued. Anyway, the bed is big and there are 2 blankets. We can sleep on our own sides. He suggested, actually, I can sleep on the floor. The suggestion was rejected. Don't. You help me with such a big thing. If you sleep on the floor, I'll feel terribly guilty. She went first. I'm going to the bathroom to change into my pajamas. You should go quickly too. He replied, okay. After leaving the room, she stood silently for a moment. gasped. I've been holding it together, and it's been tough. Oh, what is this situation? Why we have to sleep together now? She was embarrassed. Am I being a bit too much, bothering Mr. One all the time? It's like real love turning into real love. She patted her face. My heart is beating so loudly. Why is that? Suddenly, she seemed to remember something. The young Wan Shun continuously called her, Xiaozhu, 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 I can't run anymore. Those bloody legs suddenly tripped over something. He fell to the ground. Ouch. She turned back. Xiao Shun. She rushed to help him up, but the warning siren just went off. They must have found out he's gone. I'll help you bandage it. Then we'll rest for a bit and go again. He quickly wiped the wound. I'm sorry. It's all my fault that Xiao Zhu has to run away with me. She reassured him. It's okay. Places like hotels require ID cards, so we can't go. I'll take you to hide at school. While bandaging the wound, she said, I can share my meals and allowance with Xiao Shun every day. When this is all over, no one will pay attention to this anymore. I will definitely save you. Returning to the present, she was stunned by the flood of memories. She was stunned as those memories appeared in her head. She asked herself, what was that just now? A strange memory suddenly appeared in my mind. The boy in the vision looked a bit like Mr. Wan. Her eyebrows furrowed as if they were about to kiss. What is going on? Is it because I've been too tired lately? On that pink bed, he came out wiping his hair, and something immediately caught his eye. She was snoring on the floor. He was helpless. Didn't we say we would sleep on the bed together? He sighed and called out, Miss Han, in a low voice. Miss Han, please get on the bed to sleep. A sleepy snore was his reply. She curled up in the blanket and said softly, Sleepy. He looked at her with 3 parts helplessness and 7 parts indulgence. Just like a child. Indulgence is one thing, but he was also very worried. But what to do now? She chose this herself. So much for curling up. Now he was carrying her. After that action, she instantly woke up. Hey, she quickly squirmed. What are you doing? He quickly explained, I just wanted you to sleep a little more comfortably. He tucked her in and patted her like a child. All right. Then he plopped down as if it were his own home. Go to sleep. You still have to go to the market early with Uncle Chu tomorrow. How could she possibly sleep after he did that? She pulled the blanket over her head to hide her racing heart and mumbled and She didn't know what was wrong with her either. What's wrong with me? My heart is beating so fast. It's as if these past few days, I haven't been myself. Is it because of that strange vision? He seemed used to it and was already fast asleep. She wrestled with her thoughts. It must be because I'm sleep deprived that I'm this stressed. Things like having a crush. I've never had any luck with that. She really underestimates herself. The next morning, birds were chirping on the branches. Wang Jinli called someone, a little startled. Hey, are you almost at my place? Now, it's not impossible. If you can help, then I'll wait. She noticed her mother's conversation. She walked out and asked, Mom, is a guest coming? Her mother didn't know what to say. I can't explain it clearly for now. An old friend said they are very interested in the photo of Xiao Zhang in your shop's article. It's probably a good thing. Let's wait until they arrive and see. He wondered, a good thing. 15 minutes later, a black car parked in front of her house. A middle-aged couple, Mr. Zhang and Mrs. Zhang, the chairman and vice chairwoman of the board of a biopharmaceutical group, rushed in. Sister Han, where is the child? Mrs. Zhang was anxious. If we hadn't accidentally seen the article, we really wouldn't have known that our long-lost son is still alive. Wang Jinli replied, That's right. I did hear you mention this before. She quickly led the two into the house. It was about the child who was around 7 years old, right? Your youngest son suddenly went missing. Mrs. Zhang replied, That's right. My mother was worried for a long time back then. Mrs. Zhang burst into tears. Why would God treat me like this? My youngest son is missing, and my eldest son doesn't have much time left either. She then turned to ask Han, What's wrong with Ling Lang? Now, it was Mr. Zhang's turn to explain. Our son suddenly had a health problem. Perhaps for the past 2 years, we don't want to have struggled our whole lives just to have no bloodline to inherit and no one to place our hopes on. That's why we're so on edge. The moment we saw the photo that resembled Wan Shun, we rushed over here. Wang Jinli was also a bit startled. Wan Shun, it can't be that much of a coincidence, can it? He, in the next room, heard this and gritted his teeth. He turned his face away as if he didn't want to see them. She closed the door and asked Han, Mr. Wan, the person they're talking about couldn't be you, could it? Did you get lost as a child? To prevent a mistaken identity, let's not go out for now. He covered his face and mumbled a yes. Remembering that time, the doctor would startle and scream. Ah, a monster. The lady of the Zhang family gave birth to a monster. At that time, in his wolf form, he only let out a few yelps. Would you believe it? Some people are destined to be a mistake from birth, and that person is Wan Shun. I was born into a good family, with a good father, a good mother, and a good older brother. His mother always praised his older brother. Xiaonyou is so good, but I was not good at all, as he was a mutant. So one time while playing at home, he hurt his father's headache. What should we do? The company's investment chain is broken. Of course, I was led by my father to a crowded place and instructed. Xiao Shun, can you hold this ice cream and wait here for Dad for a moment? He naively replied, yes. And then, abandonment. Just like that, he stood waiting in front of the park entrance. When it rained, he just found shelter. And just like that, he stood watching the crowd pass by, but didn't see his father anywhere. Suddenly, a car pulled up in front of him. The door opened. They grabbed him, put him in the car, and what followed was a chain of horrors. Fear appeared in his eyes. A voice rang out. Mr. Wan, Hanju asked from the side, are you okay? He bent over, his voice trembling. I can't go out there. She was worried. Although I've never asked about your family before, the Zhang family is very prominent in biopharmaceuticals. He was terrified, his eyes filled with despair. I have no relationship with them. She was startled, not knowing why he would say that. Standing in a silent space, not knowing what to say. He turned away, avoiding her gaze. But she just smiled, mumbled and said, if you don't want to see them, then we won't. She took his hand, her face cheerful, helping him regain his spirits. Let's go. We can jump out of the first floor window to leave. In his eyes, there was only her silhouette, remembering when she was little, rushing to help him escape. We're surrounded by fire. We can't jump. She kept reminding him, but you have to leave here, otherwise you'll be taken back to the lab. Then all our efforts will be wasted. Her eyes filled with determination. She turned back to tell him, let me go buy some time. You take this chance to run, Xiao Shun. With my dad there, they definitely won't do anything to me. He was about to grab her hand, but then he let it drop. What if something happens? What if? As he was speaking, she suddenly ran off. His eyes were filled with despair and helplessness. Then he did as she said, turned and ran. He suddenly stopped. She noticed something. She turned and said, Mr. Wan, it seems your body is again. His fur began to grow out. He gritted his teeth. He knew what was happening. He's transforming. He lay on the floor, panting heavily. She didn't know how to handle this situation. She knelt down and called him. Mr. Wan, his body trembled. Are you okay? A voice called from outside. Hanju, the sound of the door rattling. Come out quickly. Let Annie see you too. A voice called from outside. Hanju, the sound of the door rattling. Come out quickly. Let Annie see you too. She was a little worried and guilty. Then her mother opened the door and walked in. Hanju, why aren't you answering? She was stunned. Where are they? I just told them to wait here. The wind blew through the window, and everyone understood the situation. In another apartment building, she walked in, looking a bit weary. Luckily, the old master's car park is in the back garden, so we could drive straight back. She felt a bit uncomfortable, not even having time to change her clothes. He followed behind her. He had been looking at her for a while without knowing what to say. He said softly, Miss Han must have guessed what happened, right? She asked back, what? While changing her slippers, she asked, what Mr. Wan means is about your identity, that you're the dog heir of the Zhang family. She didn't think he meant that much. I thought it was a misunderstanding before. After all, the story of recognizing a long-lost son through an art article sounds a bit strange. He remained silent and turned away, saying nothing. She looked at him and understood the situation. But now it can probably be confirmed. He finally spoke. If you already knew, then why did you still help me? She heard the question and found it utterly nonsensical. If I don't help you, who else would I help? She turned her face away. Oh, right. If everyone successfully reunites with their relatives, then the Han family would be considered to have helped the Zhang family once. It will be easier for future collaborations. She still had an explanation behind it. But to me, of course, Mr. Wan is more important. I still want to ask Mr. Wan to be my boyfriend. It wouldn't be good to anger you. He didn't know what else to say. Just for that, she scratched her head. Hey, if we're talking about self-interest, there's a little bit. How to explain this? He didn't understand. Self-interest? She took his hand and pulled him along. She pushed him. If you really take over the family business, you'll become extremely busy with no time to visit me anymore. She threw her pride aside and buried her face in his chest, nuzzling. But if I don't have this soft fur anymore, I'll die. I'm addicted to it. He was flustered, not daring to use force, but still trying to push her away. Miss Han, please don't do this. He understood the problem. She really likes him when he turns into a wolf. As for her, she was enjoying it. No, it was so hard for you to turn back into a wolf like this. Let me take a sniff. He yelled, don't sniff. But actually, she had another hidden meaning. Mr. Wan probably didn't realize I was using the excuse of sniffing the puppy smell to get close to him, right? She herself wondered, why do I want to secretly get close to him? She touched the soft fur. I can get close to him openly and honestly. He blushed as she kept squeezing. She hummed. Her eyes were infatuated with him. Oh, that's not right. He's from the Zhang Pharmaceutical Group. He's not short of money. She maintained her sitting position on him and asked, speaking of which, can I be nosy and ask you this one question, Mr. Wan? Why don't you want to go home? She touched his face. He lowered his head. He was silent for a long time before speaking. There's no special reason. They were the ones who abandoned me back then. Now they're looking for me just because they want someone to continue the family line, not because they feel any remorse. She was startled, abandoned. This matter has. Before she could finish, her head suddenly throbbed. A voice echoed. As for me, I was brought here by my family, so there's no way to go back. It seems it was because my dad's business ran into trouble. They could only research me in exchange for financial support. A blurry figure appeared in her memory. As for other things, I don't know much else. She clutched her head, startled by those thoughts. It seems a memory just flashed through my mind. He continued to speak. In short, it's not something worth mentioning, and I don't want to remember it either. He only now noticed her. Miss Han, what's wrong with you? She gave an awkward smile. It's nothing. I just feel a little tired. She reassured herself. The vision has appeared more than once. It can't be a coincidence, can it? He avoided her gaze. I'm sorry for troubling you because of my current condition. She patted his chest. What are we? This is a steadfast, revolutionary friendship. Taking the opportunity, she pinched his cheek. Come here, let me pet you. Suddenly, he grabbed her hands. I told you not to do that. Blushing and a little disappointed. I just look like an animal, but I still have human feelings. She was unfazed. Oh, if you really feel uncomfortable, I won't force it. But she still whispered, I really love touching the fur on your chest. He hesitated slightly, holding her hand. He shouted, go ahead and touch it. Like a big child, it surprised her. Don't force yourself. He still tried to endure the embarrassment. I'm not forcing myself. For what happened today? Thank you. If he wasn't embarrassed, she was. She also blushed a little looking at him, then forced a laugh to break the atmosphere. You're being too polite. Too polite, but she still enjoyed it. I'm craving barbecue for lunch today. Can you make it? No matter how many times you try to be capable on your own, it's useless. Just admit it. He replied softly. All right. Then he lightly kissed her hair. I really do like her. He replied softly. All right. Then he lightly kissed her hair. As for me, I really do like her. He lightly kissed her cheek. She was slightly surprised, and just like that, ripples formed without any wind. After meeting both families, life returned to its old rhythm. She continued with her work. Expand the media outreach. He continued with his. At your service. The Zhang family seemed to no longer cling to the illusion of finding an heir. Everything was as if it had never happened. At the mansion above, it was still the same old place. But the truth is, two young men stood at the door greeting guests. Welcome. As if nothing had happened, one of them stepped forward to ask, Are you new guest? Have you made a reservation? Mrs. Zhang asked hesitantly. I wonder if Mr. Wan Shun has time. He was quick to respond. Mr. Wan today, He stepped out. Let me handle this. You go on with your work first. The young man was happy. Oh, then I'll leave it to you. He remained cold. It's fine. The two met. Mrs. Zhang's eyes welled up with tears. He still asked coldly, Why did you come here? She replied, If you search persistently, one day you'll find it. She looked up and asked, Xiao Shun, why are you? He gestured. Shoo, this is not the place to talk. Saying that, he took her hand and pulled her away. Follow me. He turned to ask, Xiang, get a private room. Put the bill under my name. Mrs. Zhang was stunned. This. Xiang on the side replied, As you wish. Have fun. But inside, he was judging. Wow, that lady's age must be around his mother's age, right? And he's still into that. Welcome. He just turned back. She walked over and asked, Hello, I have an appointment with Mr. Wan. The other guy quickly explained, Mr. Wan just had a guest arrive. You might have to wait a little. She was confused. He said he was quite free tonight. Xiang on the side was also surprised. Hey, isn't this Mr. Wan's big client, a young rich lady? He gave a sly smile. Mr. Wan is really something to just abandon a big client like this and go into a private room with that old woman. If that's the case, then don't blame me for making a move. Xiang approached and asked, Hello, miss. If you're bored waiting for Mr. Wan, you can talk to me, no charge. She walked away coldly, not interested. No need. She took out her laptop to work. I'll just handle some work. He was still by her side, chattering endlessly. How can that be? We're not allowed to neglect our customers here. A graceful, beautiful lady like you is so much better than the old woman Mr. Wan just took inside. He gave a sly smile. If I can hook this client, I'll become the top guy too. She caught the information. Old woman, he's in for it now. That's right, let me tell you. So he chattered on, while she listened with a cold expression. He went on and on like this and that. So, you see, I can treat Miss Han better. Talking to you is so much fun. He was a bit smug. Although he didn't directly say that one Shun treated other clients better than her, the implication was clear. She turned her face, sighed, and called out, "Open a bottle of champagne for me." He was overjoyed. Everything was going according to plan. She wants to open a bottle for me. He bowed and replied, Miss Han, don't be too sad. I'll go order it for you. She looked at her phone, just feeling that he was too annoying. It was her previous messages with him. Can I come over tonight? Wait a moment. Let me check the schedule. There aren't many people working today. Can you come a little later? What do you want to eat for dinner tonight? She replied, let's talk when we meet. A new message just arrived. Sorry, something came up. Please wait for me for a bit. She looked inside. What was he doing in the private room? Because his meeting with the client was exposed. Ashang brought it to her. Miss Han, the champagne is here. Would you like anything else? She was absolutely annoyed. Her face cold, her voice strained. Do I still need you to put the wine down and leave here immediately? Don't bother me. She was leisurely. You worked hard. He was both embarrassed and red-faced, angry. Yes, he cursed under his breath. This damn woman. 8:50 p.m. He turned and left. Then I'll be going. 9 p.m. She sat there sipping her wine. 9:10 p.m. She was still working normally, feeling annoyed. Why isn't Mr. Wan done yet? 10 p.m. She messaged again. Are you okay? 11:10 p.m. No reply. She yawned and yawned. No one's answering. Should I just leave a message and go home first? Her eyes were pensive, but Mr. Wan told me to wait. She slammed the table, having realized something. That's not right. I'm usually not this obedient. I should have felt it was a waste of time early on and just scheduled for another day. She thought again, could it be? Looking at the door, could it be that Mr. Wan and I? Suddenly, at that moment, the door abruptly opened. Seeing him there, he said to Mrs. Zhang, all right, you should go home first. Mrs. Zhang wiped her tears. Okay, she reminded him. You be careful too. She was stunned. Wait, isn't that Annie Zhang? Why is she here? Her mind cleared. Should I go over and say hello? But greeting them in a place like this isn't very appropriate. So she shrank back. I should just pretend I didn't see anything and sit here. He had already noticed her and walked over, calling out. Hanju, she had a bad feeling. Why does it feel like this person is radiating a murderous aura? Suddenly he hugged her and said softly, Thank you. Even though she didn't understand what was happening, she asked back, why are you thanking me again? I think I just saw Annie Zhang. Why are you too? Before she could finish her sentence, she noticed the stunned looks of everyone around. Can't believe my eyes. No, now is not the right time to talk. She held his face and asked, what's wrong? Calm down first. He had been silent for a while, so she stood up. Follow me. Outside, he was still sitting there while she went to the vending machine. The 2 drinks she bought dropped down. She walked over and handed it to him. Here, the drink you like. He took it and asked back, Miss Han, how do you know my preference? A huge question mark. A normal person would just assume a male escort would. Like alcohol, right? Hearing the question, she was also slightly startled. Isn't it obvious you buy it sometimes? She suddenly paused. No, how could I so easily distinguish Mr. Wan's preferences? Then why couldn't I remember the details of my previous blind dates? The previous date had nagged her. Hanju, I already told you, I don't like animal liver. She scratched her head. There's nothing surprising about this. A little wavering. What am I wavering about? Then she boldly went and lifted his chin. It's you on the contrary. You haven't seemed right since I saw you today, and you even did that at the workplace. If a client saw, it would have an impact, wouldn't it? His eyes were welling up with tears. She stepped back. Are you crying? His mouth said no, but his hand wiped away the tears. No, I'm just a little touched. He lowered his head, because I knew that whether I was abandoned by my parents or not, Miss Han would still be on my side. That's why I was able to stay calm and talk to my mother, and then I discovered some misunderstandings. She sat down next to him. Misunderstandings, which is to say, Aunt Zhang didn't actually abandon you back then. He hummed in agreement, making her sigh in relief. Ah, that's great then. She took a sip. I told you, Aunt Zhang doesn't seem like the type of person who would sell her child for money. Otherwise, it would be too much like those cliché dramas about wealthy families. He glanced at her, then continued. Aren't you curious how I confirmed the situation at home? It was clear before that I was determined to be abandoned. She sighed. It's not important. When Mr. Wan wants to talk, he will. If Mr. Wan's state is not good right now, then even if I force it, I can't make him go back. But if you've thought it through carefully before making a decision, then all I need to do is support you. And when you carelessly fall into danger, face the danger with you. Those words seemed to touch his heart. She giggled. In short, I'm here. Even if Mr. Wan doesn't want to stay at the Zhang family's house anymore in the future, it's okay. You can always come back. He was silent for a long time, then gently reached his hand behind her back and hugged her tightly. You can't do this anymore. You'll spoil me. She hugged him back and patted him. Oh, then I'll just spoil you before you completely discover how boring I am. Just keeping things as they are now is fine. He didn't quite agree, looking straight at her. Miss Han is not boring at all. He bit his lip, the words seeming to get stuck. He clenched his fists. Hanju, although I don't have a right to say these words right now, but, she started to worry again. What do you want to say? At the crucial moment, he felt it wasn't right. What am I saying? I can't be impulsive, a coward like me who once betrayed her. How can I shamelessly confess? His whole body trembled. She was used to it and could guess. Is Mr. Wan about to transform again? He panted heavily. If Hanju finds out everything that happened in the past, if she knows everything. She hugged him to reassure him. Mr. Wan, you can relax a little. Smoke appeared continuously from somewhere, making her cough lightly a few times. Why is there smoke this time? She pushed him away and called out, Mr. Wan. She felt something was not quite right and turned around. Surprise, a child was hugging her. She was bewildered. Why did another person suddenly appear? She turned back to ask, Mr. Wan, this child is? He just noticed. Him. The child let go and spoke softly. Little Zhu. She looked at this child. He seemed very familiar. He looks so similar. Could it be that Mr. Wan has transformed into a childhood version of himself? Suddenly, little Wan Shun ran away, and she quickly shouted, Hey, the boy ran off. Don't let anything happen. She pulled him to his feet. Let's chase after him. He gritted his teeth. Why? Another mutation that has never happened before, and it's even my childhood form. The traffic light quickly turned red. Got you. Don't run. We won't hurt you. To be honest, she was so athletic that she could climb high walls since she was a child. Little Wan Shun shook her hand off. Little Zhu, let me go. You won't like me anymore. You'll never like me again. She was surprised for the second time, and he was surprised too. She asked again, What are you saying? Her mind was full of questions. Isn't this child a clone of Mr. Wan? What does he want to say? Little Wan Shun shook his head desperately. Little Zhu, I'm sorry, but I was too scared, I'm sorry. As he was speaking, the man came up from behind and knocked him out with one kick. She quickly caught him. Mr. Wan, what are you doing? Suddenly hitting someone. His face was as cold as a CEO's. I can't control him. This is the only way. Let's go back first. She also realized something. Something is not quite right. The traffic light turned green. The flickering of the traffic was like an escape, and it was also the young Wan Shun running away. He panted as if exhausted, just running headlong. Just like that, running away. He stopped. After leaving all the danger to little Zhu, I ran away. He wiped his tears and told himself, No, taking the test subject away is definitely not a small matter. Little Zhu will surely be punished for this. Saying that, he turned back. I have to go back and find her, take her with me. I once thought that even if I was small and weak, there would definitely be a moment when I could protect Hanju. I always believed so, until in front of him was a chaotic mess as Han Xing, Hanju's father, grabbed her. Hanju, so is you who caused this. At this point, little Wan Shun's eyes suddenly flew open. He panted. She spoke up. You're awake? Does it hurt anywhere? He sat up warily. No. Then he just stared blankly. She waved her hand. Wan Shun, you're Zhang Wan Shun, right? Why are you so dazed? As if coming to his senses, he was startled. I'm not stupid. It's just that little Zhu clearly hated me, forgot me. So why is she suddenly treating me so well? She was the one who didn't understand. What? That I don't quite understand what Wan Shun wants to say, but I know Wan Shun definitely has his own worries and thoughts. She comforted him. So please rest assured. And then little by little, can you tell me the words you want to say? His eyes reddened, and he was silent for a moment. Tears welled up. Little Zhu, we before. As he was speaking, the man of the house suddenly walked in. What kind of day is this for her? Mr. Wan. He looked coldly at the kid on the bed. If you're awake, then come out and eat. The atmosphere at the dining table was both gloomy and suffocating. She couldn't even swallow her rice. What is this strange atmosphere? Mr. Wan seemed to be supervising his younger self, but this is so adorable. It's like Mr. Wan has a son. So cute, so adorable. She quickly calmed herself down. No, why am I starting to have random thoughts? Whether he has a child or not has nothing to do with me. I've been so distracted lately. This is not good, not good. But if one day, suddenly one day, he calls out, Hanju, Mr. One has a girlfriend. He introduces her to you. I've found my other half, so I can't continue to be with you. Let's end the contract. She was suddenly startled. Her heart skipped a beat. Hey, she placed her hand on her chest. Suddenly, my heart aches. Why is that? Little Wan Shun picked up some meat and called her Little Zhu. At the same time, he also picked up food for her. Hanju, the loving gazes for each other appeared again. The man of the house was the first to issue a warning. Kid, you don't even know what Hanju likes to eat, do you? She doesn't like meat. It was also him, but the mini version argued back. Meat is delicious. Little Zhu deserves the best things. The best. At this point, she'll just take both, right? Eat it all. Eat it all. Eat both the meat and the vegetables, haha. She was also slightly panicked. What is this atmosphere thick with the smell of gunpowder? She asked while eating. Mr. Wan, indulge the boy a little. This form is very rare. Maybe you won't be able to see it tomorrow. Like a blow to this mini version. He silently took a drink. That's right. Situations with Hanju's mutation usually end quickly. At this table, the little one clung to her arm. Little Wan Shun's eyes sparkled. Hey, Little Zhu, can I really not stay? Who could resist that look? And she, too, was no exception. She hugged this little boy. Sorry, Little Shun is very welcome to stay. Big sister misspoke. She thought to herself, even if it's just a transformation of Mr. Wan, it also has his complete thoughts from when he was little. He's clearly not saying it directly, but is very worried. She suggested, how about this? Little Shun, sleep with me tonight. Come sleep in my room. Someone found it hard to crack a smile. The clock struck 11:50 p.m. Little Shun rubbed his eyes. So sleepy. Is Little Zhu going to sleep soon? She walked over. I'm getting ready for bed too. Little Shun, you get in bed first. The boy obediently replied. Okay. She took off her mask. Wait for me a bit. I'm going to wash my face. Just as she finished speaking, the door suddenly swung open. She was a little surprised. Mr. Wan, you are. At this point, shame is just a word. He declared, I'm sleeping here tonight too. She was startled. What? No, Mr. Wan, we have several guest rooms. Why squeeze in here? He just hummed in response. He glanced at the little one next to him. Then he could have a room to himself too. Who could resist meat served right to their mouth? Little Shun argued back. You find me an eyesore, don't you? Coincidentally, my future self, I hate you too. She was being, what's going on? First, she had to stop these two. Wait, aren't you both Mr. Wan? Stop fighting. She realized something. It seems the boy knows something Mr. Wan doesn't want me to know. Little Shun still strained his neck to argue. I was scared, so I ran away. But what about you? After so many years, what have you done? Have you apologized to Little Zhu? He was speechless. This kid had hit a sore spot of his. She was dazed again. What are they talking about? Apologize. Mr. Wan has been acting strange lately, even more so after meeting Aunt Zhang. He just clicked his tongue. I don't want her to know about this, so I can't let them sleep separately. He grabbed the kid by the collar. You, get over here. Little Shun struggled. Let go. Now she took action, one hand grabbing a head, the other grabbing a collar. All right. She pulled both of them inside. You two are arguing with yourselves? I have no place to interfere. Since it's like this, we can only sleep together. This time there's no more problem, right? She turned off the light. Good night. She would probably have a hard time sleeping tonight. Luckily, the bed was wide enough, but it seemed two people were not quite resigned. They gave each other looks that words couldn't describe. Little Shun snuggled against her. Some young man was getting jealous of himself. He moved closer to her. At this point, being shy is like going to live with monkeys on a mountain. Forget it. Don't be angry. Just as Hanju said, my younger self might disappear tomorrow. No need to worry. He gently closed his eyes. Sorry, Hanju. I lied to you about what happened before. He recalled the earlier conversation. Misunderstanding, which is to say Aunt Zhang didn't abandon you. What do you mean it was all a misunderstanding? How could that be? The image of him eavesdropping appeared again. What to do now? The company's investment chain is a total loss. Although Mother didn't know anything, Father had already acted. He had thoughts of selling me to someone else, but later Mother found out and he regretted it. Mrs. Zhang expressed in the room. Your mother back then was too foolish. It took 2 years of searching for you to find out that my son was sold to such a place. After that, I had a huge fight with your father. Only then did I find out he had actually regretted it long ago. He was willing to go bankrupt to quickly bring you home. But by the time your parents found your location, We heard that you had run away and disappeared. She wiped her tears. Your parents have always been searching for so many years, but we never gave up. I don't expect you to forgive us. I just hope you can live well. If you don't want to come back, then your parents will spend the rest of our time making up for that lost time. He had been listening to her in silence. Then he spoke up and asked, "What about that research institute?" She hummed in response. "You mean the old orphanage? By the time your parents went, it was already deserted. Your father signed a contract he shouldn't have. So until the very end, your parents could only search on our own." "I see." He was about to say something more when Mrs. Zhang continued. She reached out her hand to touch him. "But now, your parents no longer care about your physical condition. As long as Wan Shun is healthy, that's all that matters. We know you've had a hard time these years, having to work in places like this to make a living. If it weren't for Han." Before she could finish her sentence, he pulled his hand back, decisively. She was heartbroken. "Sorry, I just hope I can treat you a little better." A little hesitant. "I thought that if little Shun hadn't left, then maybe now he would be doing well with the Han family's daughter, right? And have his own company." He was silent, a stream of thoughts running through his mind. Doing well living with Hanju? The clock already showed 1:30 a.m., but he couldn't sleep. Haha, how ironic. I never thought I would consider going back just because of the phrase, doing well living with Hanju. Even though all the apologies and reasons are so forced they're laughable, that one sentence isn't wrong. The distance between who I am now and Hanju is too great. I can't stand in an equal position to apologize to her. With her, he moved closer to her neck to say words of love. Then he sucked lightly, as if to leave his own mark. Even if I retell the whole story of the past to someone like her with no memories, it wouldn't feel real. She would probably forgive me easily, right? But then I'd be no different from someone taking advantage of a murky situation. What is this? An opportunist taking advantage of the situation. He said softly, "Hanju, please wait for me." As he spoke, he kissed her lips lightly. A light kiss probably isn't enough. "Wait for me to take a few more steps. Wait for me to catch up to you." "I will." Then he kissed her deeply. This kiss probably held so much meaning for him. Then he left her lips. Seeing the little attachment snuggling and humming, he was slightly panicked. His heart pounded, his face flushed. Ah, so careless. I couldn't control myself and kissed her. It's a good thing Hanju is fast asleep. Thinking that, he gently pulled the blanket up for her, but his hands were probably trembling. He said in a low voice, "Sorry." Then he turned his face away. Good night. He had underestimated her. She was frozen stiff now. What is this situation? I couldn't sleep because of the other person's small actions, and now it's a big action. What did Mr. Wan just do? She covered her face. Why did he kiss me? And he also said the same thing as little Wan Shun tonight, apologizing to me. She turned to see his face was a little red, but he was probably snoring. Already, could it be that I'm really just overthinking things? And there's also the child. Mr. Wan actually likes me too. Thinking that, I'll be up all night, no sleep for me. Tonight was really something. Early the next morning, he had been fuming for a while. Still hasn't returned? The kid was no pushover either. That's right, want to fight? She came out and asked, "Hey, what are you two glaring at each other for? Let's go out and eat." Mr. One has prepared steamed dumplings. Today is a day off. Since we're all here, let's go out and play together. He looked up and asked, "Play?" She hummed in agreement, but remembered last night. Haha, it seems Mr. Wan likes me. And it seems I also really like Mr. Wan, like in a romantic way. But how can that be? I've always acted uninterested in these things. She walked over. If we're bringing a child, that place is actually quite suitable. He also followed curiously. I'll take this opportunity to go to a dating holy land and clarify my feelings. So the three of them went to the amusement park. She exclaimed, "When I was little, I only got to come here on spring outings, so nostalgic." She noticed that little Wan Shun didn't seem very comfortable, though what's wrong? Don't you like amusement parks? Why don't you seem as excited as other kids? Hearing that, he quickly replied, "It's not that." Before he could finish, the man of the house continued, "It's nothing. It's just that when I was little, I was taken away by people outside an amusement park." She didn't know because no one had told her. She said bluntly, "Is it a knot in your heart? Then we should go play somewhere else, right?" He went straight to the ticket booth, bought 2 adult tickets and 1 child ticket, and refused. No need. What must be faced sooner or later. Maybe after this obsession disappears, this child will become a Buddha. She was getting tired of hearing it. Don't talk about your past self like that. The ticket seller said cheerfully, "Here, your family ticket, sir." He didn't deny it, just said, "Thank you." Even the ticket lady thought this family was adorable. The father of this family looks so young, and the son is super cute. Everyone is a sucker for a handsome face. He reminded himself, suppress your feelings. Just consider this as putting an end to my past. He lowered his eyes and called out, "Let's go." The small, weak Zhongwan Shun, who would only run away when faced with trouble, was no more. He looked at her, asking his past self, "Can you really play here? You won't be sad?" He replied obediently, "If I can be with little Zhu, it's fine. Wait until I can stand in a position to be your equal. This time, it's my turn to pursue you." Little Wan Shun suggested, "I want to ride the Ferris wheel with little Zhu." She agreed, but was a little curious. Okay, but why the Ferris wheel? She didn't think much of it. Does he like rides like that? He was a little embarrassed. He pulled her away, but she also managed to grab the boy's hand. "Hey, wait, he's just a kid who doesn't know any better." She chanted a mantra in her head. "Don't flirt so bluntly with that child's body. It will cause me to be misunderstood." But it was strange, the three of them holding hands. It was so strange. She felt like everything wasn't quite real. All the expressions of Mr. Wan and little Wan Shun consistently prove that. He likes me, right? Is it a common mentality that everyone chooses the roller coaster as the opening act? How can that be? Do I like Mr. Wan too? It seems so, based on the feeling. At this point, what image is there to maintain? He's about to throw up. She was happy with little Wan Shun. How was it? Was it fun? He just hummed once, and that was it. Although I don't really understand love, the kind of feeling that seems to only exist in literary works, what is it really like? I don't have any related experience either, but when I'm with Mr. Wan, the feeling is completely different from being with my previous blind dates. She handed him water. He grabbed it like a life raft, thanking her. Turning to the young man beside him, he was scooping 3 ice creams, feeling nostalgic because he hadn't eaten ice cream since entering the research institute. It's a strangely comfortable and secure feeling, a feeling of meeting a friend you've known for a very long time. Who is the little girl sitting behind us? That guy is so handsome. Does he have a child already? A very long time. It seems I've had illusions of meeting little Wan Shun before, but it should be impossible to have met. Her sixth sense told her, there's definitely a problem here. I have to find a chance to ask and get to the bottom of it. The small family seemed to have stopped for a rest. She looked at him buying things and saw her chance. Very good. Mr. Wan is ordering. It seems he's hiding something from me. I can talk to the boy alone now. Before she could ask, little Wan Shun had already seen through her. Little Zhu, if you have something to say, just say it, I'll answer. She was surprised too. How did you know? He replied. Right before little Zhu wants to ask some unpleasant questions, she always becomes like this. He had never forgotten her appearance. She became overly cautious because she cared too much about my feelings. She didn't think he understood her so well. She seemed to realize something. She also said, you recognize me because you share the same memories as Mr. Wan, right? And we really met when we were little. He lowered his face. Yes. Although my future self likes little Zhu too much, doesn't want to leave any bad impression in front of little Zhu, and has always stopped me from telling the truth. He raised his head to look, but I still want to tell little Zhu. Can little Zhu not be angry with me? Hearing that, she was puzzled. Why would I be angry? But his last words moved her. What was that about, although my future self likes little Zhu too much? She held out her pinky finger. How about this? I promise you I won't get angry. Let's pinky swear. He looked at this gesture with nostalgia. Pinky swear, so nostalgic. We used to do that too, saying we would never stop caring about each other. It's just... Suddenly he stopped. I abandoned little Zhu when you were in danger and ran away by myself. She was startled to hear that. A stream of thought appeared. Her father was grabbing her head in anger. Hanju, speak. Where did you hide that test subject? She resolutely denied it. I don't know any test subject. She was startled to hear that. A stream of thought appeared. Her father was grabbing her head in anger. Hanju, speak. Where did you hide that test subject? She resolutely denied it. I don't know any test subject. He shouted loudly. How can you not know? It was clearly you who let the boy go. Otherwise, how would the family's first aid kit appear in the lab? She gritted her teeth. Dad, I don't know. He slapped her hard. Hanju, don't think that just because you're my daughter, I won't dare to do anything to you. That slap stunned her. He stood there witnessing it all, helpless. He shouted continuously. Do you know how precious that experiment is? If it's researched clearly, this world will definitely change. Saying that, he grabbed her head and slammed it hard on the ground. But without the boy, the project is completely ruined. Do you know how much we lost? He stood there watching her being tortured. Speak quickly. His feet felt frozen at that moment. Sobs could be heard. His tears fell as he saw her being hurt like that. Little Zhu seems to be in a lot of pain. I have to save her. But even if I rush out, what can I do? But if I get caught and taken back to the lab, it will confirm that she helped me escape. But if I go back, little Zhu won't have to continue suffering, right? He still wouldn't let her go, growling out each word. Speak up, she replied weakly. I don't know. But sensing something, she glanced over. I just came here to play. Her eyes fell upon that familiar figure. Why'd he come back here? Seeing that she wouldn't speak, he slammed her head down again. Damn it, why did I give birth to such an unreasonable child like you? She lifted her head, her lips moving. Quickly, she mouthed the words to him. Little Shun, run away quickly. Seeing this scene, his heart ached immensely. He froze, only sobs escaping him. Then he turned and ran away, in a regret that would follow him later. What am I doing? I clearly knew I shouldn't run. We had clearly promised not to leave each other behind. No, she lay right there. It seemed they had run off to search. A satisfied smile appeared. It seemed she was completely content. A loud call brought her back to reality. Hanju. He gently shook her. Hanju, are you okay? He suddenly froze. She came to her senses, and the boy beside her spoke up. Huh, little Zhu is angry. She then called him. Mr. Wan. He was worried. Are you uncomfortable anywhere? Should I call a doctor? She quickly stopped him. No need, I'm fine. It's probably low blood pressure. I'll be fine after eating something. He felt like he was being deceived and asked again to be sure. Really? She said firmly. It's true. She quickly pulled little Wan Shun away. Little Shun, come eat too. She was slightly startled. Was it a memory from the past? I couldn't clearly remember the face of my father hitting me, but I saw little Shun. She walked over with a hamburger. Here, a big hamburger, Prince. It's even wearing a crown. He wasn't paying attention to that. Hey, is little Zhu not angry anymore? She casually tore off the cotton candy on the cup. Why should I be angry? All right, let's enjoy this meal and then continue playing. She had some thoughts. Thinking back, it seems I really had an accident when I was a teenager, but I can't vaguely remember what specifically happened. When I asked my mom later, she always beat around the bush, just saying I was careless and bumped into something somewhere. She handed it to him. Mr. Wan, you try counting too. After that, my parents quickly divorced. Her mother hugged her. He doesn't deserve to be a father. From now on, can little Zhu and mom live together? Could it be that all of this is related to the memory that just flashed in my mind? He looked at the cotton candy she handed him. Instead of taking it, no, a man possessed by the love devil wouldn't do that. He took her hand and took a delicious bite. Does he have to look so handsome just eating? She was cringing already. Not satisfied, he even licked it clean. She panicked. Mr. Wan, like this, it's a bit too intimate, just like a real lover. But what shocked me more was at this moment my heart, it went out of control for a very long time. Could it be that I've really fallen for him? In the evening, the amusement park lit up. Many like-minded people met here. It's dark. Visitors, please watch your step. She also followed. Only this Ferris wheel is left. Little Wan Shun was happy. That's right, today was so much fun. I haven't had enough yet. She nodded. It's good that you had fun. She asked, if little Shun likes it, in a few days when we have time, we can go again. How about that? He liked that idea. Hey, really? She replied, of course. She turned to ask him, Mr. Wan will come with us too, right? In her heart, she felt, although I don't know why I lost my memory as a child, being with Mr. Wan is the same, right? He had been silent until she asked. Then he hummed in agreement. Wherever Hanju wants to go, I will definitely go with her. He said that sentence with a roguish charm. She fluttered again, oh, and looked away. Come to think of it, if he likes me, then why are there no signs of him wanting to confess his feelings? Instead, he's hiding them. Could it be because of that accident? Little Wan Shun was excited. It's so high. Seeing him like that, she was also happy. The entire scenery came into view. She noticed his actions. Mr. Wan, why aren't you saying anything? Hearing that, he replied, no, it just feels like none of this is real. It's too beautiful. That answer was so, she had to ask again. Isn't that a good thing? He denied it. No, it's very good. But because it's too good, it makes one feel it's not real. It seems like in the next moment, it will tell me that all of this is just a dream. My past self has no right to stand next to Hanju, because no matter how I hypnotize myself, the dust-covered bottom of my heart is extremely clear. Clear. When Hanju was being hit by her father, her head bleeding profusely, I felt extremely panicked. In other words, I ran not because I assessed the situation, but because I was scared. It was too terrifying. I originally thought I could escape the danger, quietly return to find little Zhu and apologize to her. He sat huddled and trembling. I can't. If I go back now, I'll be discovered, and I'll surely suffer even more cruel treatment. But fear made me hesitate. He sobbed, blaming himself. I'm sorry. Is little Zhu badly injured? I miss her so much. When I finally made up my mind to go back and find her, I discovered that the address she gave me was already vacant. I couldn't find her anymore. Regret. I regretted it to death, but I couldn't do anything but endure it in complete despair. So from then on, Hanju appeared like a warm friend from the sun, buried in the bottom of my heart, unreachable, empty. He was startled awake when he felt a shake. Violently, she looked around. Why did the lights go out? The wheel also stopped suddenly. People started to panic. It's so dark, what happened? It's not an accident, is it? She hugged little Wan Shun, and he immediately stood up and shouted. Hanju! Outside, other people were screaming. Help, what happened? Where are the staff? She tried to keep her balance. The wheel seems to have a problem. I've seen news about it before. Maybe it's not serious. As soon as she finished speaking, the wheel shook violently. She and little Wan Shun couldn't keep their balance and tumbled over. He was faster and quickly caught her. She looked up and called out, Mr. Wan, he's cushioning our fall. She immediately became worried. Mr. Wan, are you okay? Get up slowly. The wheel probably lost power. Also, the uneven weight distribution of the cabin positions on the turntable caused this situation. He rubbed his head and replied, I'm fine. He looked around. Are we going to be in danger? At this moment, little Wan Shun suddenly started to sob. She didn't know either. It's not easy to say. If the cabin position doesn't detach, maybe it's not a big problem, but it's also hard to say what will happen after the equipment fails. Moreover, we are now about to reach the top. Outside were cries for help. Help! Help! Get us down quickly. It's so scary, boo-hoo. Everyone, please don't panic. The machinery is being repaired, and 119 has been called. Another shake, and again he acted as a shield for her. Little Wan Shun started to cry his eyes out. Boo-hoo, are we going to die? Little Shun just met little Zhu and doesn't want to die yet. She quickly reassured him. Don't say things like that. We'll be fine. She took out her phone to immediately contact rescue. She was worried. The family's helicopter is parked too far away. Even if it took off immediately and rushed here, it would take several hours. By then, the fire trucks would have already arrived. Little Wan Shun silently grabbed her shirt, trembling. He then spoke up. I don't want little Zhu to die. She reassured him again. I said we won't. He wiped his tears. I can't run away a second time. Saying that, he leaned over and kissed her just as the fireworks started. Her eyes widened in surprise. He stood up silently. At that moment, it seemed I understood why this transformation had to separate my younger self. He and the weak, timid Zhang Wan Shun of the past were completely different. He didn't choose to hide and avoid. Instead, he stood there openly. He's a bit mischievous too. I'm not trying to be a hooligan. It's just that I need a little stimulation to force a mutation. His whole body gradually began to mutate, to express his love for Hanju. She was startled. What do you want to do? Seeing him like that, she worried. Why does this appearance also look a bit familiar? From the bottom of his heart, he laughed. Although the current me can't transform into as many shapes as the future me, as long as I transform into something big, I can envelop. Little Zhu, no matter what, I hope my past self could have done that. He held his head high. This way, even if we fall, I can still protect you. He didn't think that kid could say something like that. She was just as surprised. He understood everything. So this kid has completed it for me. An obsession I've held on to until now. Thinking that, he gave a slight smile. Then he pulled her hand to stand up. He understood everything. So this kid has completed it for me. An obsession I've held on to until now. Thinking that, he gave a slight smile. Then he pulled her hand to stand up. Hanju, he wasn't just competing, he was surpassing. Amidst the romantic scenery, he also kissed her. Two, yet also one person who had been surprising her all this time. Little Wan Shun saw this scene. He felt happy, then gradually faded away. She watched him disappear in surprise. The little kid is gone. She asked him, Mr. Wan, little Wan Shun. Before she could finish asking, he reassured her. It's okay. As long as I mutate again, the previous mutation will disappear. She looked at him. Mr. Wan's body is glowing. He hummed. I used to think that mutation stems from pressure and stimulation, that I basically had no way to control it, so I needed to reduce it every week. It could come early or be shortened due to unstable moods. Her head was buzzing. Huh, isn't that the case? But before he could explain further, she quickly pulled him down. No. Let's save the explanation for later. You've turned into a glowing form now. You'll be discovered by the other trapped people. He reassured her. It's okay. He placed his hand down. The wheel will start up again. She stared with wide eyes. What? Sparks flew around her. The whole Ferris wheel lit up. It seems there's power. She looked at the non-slip jacket. Mr. Wan, he explained. Don't be afraid. I just mutated into an electric current state. As long as the initially disconnected circuit is reconnected, the Ferris wheel can continue to run. She didn't think he was that amazing, did she? So he can transform like this. So amazing. Maybe he'll become a Superman and save the Earth next. It seems everyone has landed safely. Boo-hoo, that was so scary. We are very sorry. Please follow this way. The trapped people have all been evacuated, starting to cut the power for maintenance. Only she was left sitting alone on a stone bench. A footstep approached, making her look up. She knew it was him. Mr. Wan, you're back? She immediately stood up. Are you very tired? Here's some water. After all, you dispersed yourself into the machine. He called her name again. Hanju, I like you. A sentence he had buried for so long was finally said. Too many things happened today that surprised her. Just after saying that, he passed out from exhaustion, but still knew what he had just done. What am I saying? I clearly wasn't supposed to say that. She caught him and called out, Mr. Wan. But suddenly I feel that if I face her at this moment, when the fireworks light up, is also the time. It sounds old-fashioned to say it. He walked over and called, Little Zhu, I've come back to find you. He suddenly opened his eyes. It turned out it was all just a dream. He sat up. The first thing he said was her name. Hanju. Mrs. Zhang was beside him, helping him up. Wan Shun, you're awake. He held his head, seeming dizzy from getting up too suddenly. He turned to ask, Mom, where is this? She explained, this is a private and secure hospital. You can rest assured. Yesterday, you and Lil Han went out to play, and you suddenly fainted, so she brought you here. Your health is fine. It was mainly extreme exhaustion that caused you to fall into a coma. Lil Han took care of you for a day and a night. I just chased her home to rest. He got out of bed. Let me borrow your phone for a moment. She quickly stopped him. Hey, don't. Little Han is probably still sleeping. Don't disturb her. Hearing that, he also calmed down, humming in agreement. But that didn't mean he was willing to rest. Then I'll go to her house. Mrs. Zhang quickly stopped him again. This child, you clearly just woke up. She was about to take his arm, but then froze. Although I really want to stop you, this needy mother who you've spent most of your life with has no right to ask you to do anything. He was silent, and she continued. Little Shun, are you sure you like that girl from the Han family? She's several years older than you. With your current condition, you could find someone better. He didn't rush to speak, but turn away. But he was very resolute about his decision. If it's not her, then no one. Morning in the familiar building. The image of her tossing and turning on this bed is so familiar. Familiar. In her dream, she seemed to remember all the words and actions her old father had done to her. Don't think that just because you're my daughter, I won't dare to hit you. She resolutely refused to speak. I don't know. So her father slammed her head hard onto the ground. Her two eyebrows were about to kiss. She was being treated by the doctor in critical condition. Hurry up, doctor, you must save her. The emergency room door closed tightly. In real life, her bedroom door suddenly opened. Who else could it be? After the emergency treatment, she asked innocently, Mom, what's wrong with me? I think I saw Dad, but I don't remember clearly. Her mother hugged her. It's okay, Hanju. Don't think about your dad anymore. He doesn't deserve to be your father. She turned over, humming. He was already standing in the room looking at her. He placed the coat neatly on the table. He adjusted the blanket for her. Don't catch a cold, okay? She remembered the remaining memory again, her mother gently coaxing her. Hanju, even though Mom and Dad are divorced, Mom still loves you just the same. Let's move somewhere else to live, and you'll make new friends. She looked up and replied, Yes, Mom, I just feel that after I hit my head, I forgot something. He naturally took off his slippers and climbed onto the bed. Moreover, it was something extremely important. The important thing is lying next to her now. The sun reached its peak. The food on the stove was bubbling, emitting an irresistible aroma. She sniffed the air, smelling the delicious aroma. And so she woke up. Someone is cooking. Is it Annie Zhang? But isn't she still at the hospital? She peeked out, and sure enough, he's recovered already and even came all the way here. She remembered his words. I like you. And she felt a thrill. Come to think of it, he seemed to have confessed to me before. I heard it very clearly. She walked over gently. Does this mean we have mutual feelings for each other? Should I scare him? Give him a surprise? Who is she? She does what she says. After thinking it through, the domineering CEO immediately takes control. She gently slipped her hands around him and called, Mr. Wan, hugging him tightly. Sir, it's not good to not rest well. Just as she expected, he was both blushing and startled. Hanju. He turned his head. You're awake? Don't mess around. I'm cooking. Hearing that, she teased him even more. How can things between lovers be called messing around? Mr. Wan, just keep being busy. He was so flustered I thought you two had switched genders. What's this about between lovers? She giggled. Is he really not getting it, or is he pretending? She slapped his butt. Mr. Wan, you stole a kiss from me, licked me, and even confessed to me. If you tell me it was all an illusion, that would be too. Good. He felt a tickle all over his body hearing that. Kiss, lick, no, I'm not bad. Her hands are too mischievous. Oh, so you admit it then? He hummed in agreement. His mind was in a tangled mess. Hand. He turned his face away and hummed, blushing as he called her name. Hanju, shy but still very brave. He turned to say, I like you. She had been playing around a lot, but hearing that, she fell silent. Then she also smiled and replied, okay. A wave of emotion washed over her. I like Mr. Wan too, so from now on we are lovers. He was pensive. Lover, that distant word, now was whispered so easily and solemnly into his ear. He spoke. Hanju, after getting back my childhood alter ego, I found out about the child who talked to you before. Do you really not mind that I once betrayed you? She didn't understand what he was talking about. It was romantic and suddenly betrayal. Betrayal. Are you talking about when my terrible father hit me? He was a little stunned. You remember? She nodded. That's right. I remembered a lot, including the time you turned into a dog and stayed with me. He couldn't believe what he had just heard. Her memory has recovered. His body gradually transformed. Then why can you still treat me with a normal attitude? And treat me? He covered his face. And even tell me you like me. She was too used to it. Turning into a dog. She took his hand. I'm completely used to this, although I know you're fine. But do you want to sit for a while? But contrary to what she thought, tears streamed down his face. His tears just kept falling. Seeing him like that, she was also surprised. Mr. Wan, why are you crying like this? She didn't know either. He's usually the expressionless type. He tried to hold it back. It's okay. I'll be fine in a moment. She smiled softly, humming. She pulled him to one side. Mr. Wan, do you think my younger self would resent you for running away on your own? He admitted. When I finally went to look for you again, our meeting place was already abandoned. Hanju helped me so much. I even owe my life to her. And I nearly destroyed her family. It's only normal to be hated. Her father's words echoed in his ears. I don't have an unreasonable daughter like you. The next time we met, you were like the bright moon in the high sky, and I was the black mud in a dark corner, an existence I didn't dare to defile. If it weren't for that accident, we basically wouldn't have had much contact anymore. She stood looking at him, silent. Suddenly, she sat right on his lap. Her voice was full of seduction. So does Mr. Wan still feel that way now? He was silent, humming in agreement. He didn't understand why Hanju liked him. He clearly couldn't do anything for her, only adding more trouble. She comforted him. Hey, Mr. Wan has done a lot, right? Now she openly rubbed against him. You helped me with commercials, cooked for me, and knew how to encourage and guide me. When I was heartbroken and under too much pressure, we dealt with my mother together and the housework too. He cut her off, but those are small things. He took her hand. Compared to your help for me, it's nothing. She then explained. What's the difference? Didn't I say it before? My younger self always lived a very restrained life. Of course, outsiders might feel it's a bit pretentious, but it's truly a genuine feeling. It was when she opened the door a crack and heard her parents' conversation. When Hanju is a little older, send her to the Wong family. Where else? Han, has your conscience been eaten by a dog? That's your own daughter. Because you were by my side, I was able to keep going. And I felt that, so Hanju is also worthy of being liked by others. He still avoided it. But you saved me. How could he avoid her? I did save you. But you saved me too. We don't owe each other anything. Saying that, she gave him a light kiss. Her voice was still full of charm. Okay, I dare any man to resist. He shyly turned his face away. Lying down wasn't right. Not lying down wasn't right either. Even though I say that, I still don't feel I've done enough, but Little Zhu walked over to his younger self. Hey, little Shun, Did you know? The book says the relationship between people is a bit like walking together. He was puzzled. Walking? She opened the book. For example, if the distance between two people is 100 meters, then it would take about 100 steps to get close to each other. It's a process of both people trying together. You take a step, I take a step, the distance becomes 98 meters. If you take a few more steps, the distance will get shorter and shorter, and people will become closer. He hummed in agreement. He pointed. When two people have walked close enough and the feeling of distance disappears, they can give each other their sincerity. She nodded. I think I can understand that. He seemed to realize something. Oh. He stood up. Then I'll run. She didn't understand. If it's really like the book says, as long as I run with all my might, I can become close to little Zhu soon, right? I want to become close to little Zhu. Back in the present, he pushed her away. I want to take that step. I once promised the person I like that I would run towards her. She didn't understand. What? But because of my low self-esteem and not wanting to disturb her life, I stood still. He replied, it's nothing. I want to be your lover. Please let me be Miss Han's lover. Saying that, he kissed her back. But even though you've taken 99 steps towards me, his body gradually transformed back. When the distance between two people is close enough, the one who takes the last step will be me. What about this last step? It means he has won her, just as he promised that year and longed for that year. The two of them stopped at a familiar place. Welcome back. He was stunned. This is from childhood. It was the tree where he and she met every day as children. She explained. After the research institute was abandoned, it was turned into a park, but the tree that represents where we met was kept. You've probably never come back, have you? He looked at her and hummed. He took her hand. After leaving here, I never thought of coming back. Hearing that, she asked back, because it wasn't a good memory? He led her away. No, the memory is very beautiful, unimaginably beautiful. It supported our lives for those 10-odd years. He stopped to let me wait for you again. Hanju, thank you. Although I'm still worried and all, I won't let go anymore. He held her hand tightly. Even if you regret it and want to leave, I won't let go. She smiled happily. Then hold on to me tightly. The road ahead is still very long from now on. Let's walk together. Evening in the familiar apartment. He bluntly threw his shirt onto the chair. She kissed him passionately. Tonight will probably be a sleepless night. She sat on him. By the way, back when you were working at the club, did you really never do this kind of thing with other people? He said for sure. I don't sell my body. She took the lead. So were you ever tempted? After all, you said you wanted to make money if the other person offered a very high price. Her hand is getting too touchy. He quickly grabbed it and pressed it down, repeating again. I don't sell my body. She laughed. Oh my, don't be so tense. I didn't mean anything else. She raised his hand and licked it lightly. Just wanted to cosplay a little. In her heart, she was screaming. I want to play. Play with me. He pulled his hand back. Why are you so shy? I'm serious, she said playfully. Of course, are you in? The lady boss and the waiter. Why are you so serious about playing? Fine, but let's agree beforehand. No real money or the deal is off. Which made her burst out laughing. All right, no money it is. You can give it back to me later, but if so, doesn't that prove it? That a long time ago, Mr. Wan was already waiting for me to come and play with you, right? Every word she said made his face turn red. He immediately turned his head. Is that even a question? She hasn't called me Mr. Wan in a long time. But if my wife wants to find some excitement, I can only do my best to satisfy her, so I'll just play along. With that thought, he overpowered her. The tables have turned. Miss Lady Boss, let me serve you. I will obey your every command. She was amused. Oh, then come close to my face and stick out your tongue. He did exactly as told, undressing as he did so. Like this. She wrapped her arms around his neck. That's right. Good boy. Then the two shared sweet kisses. He let out a bark, meaning how is she so skilled? He took off his shirt. Tomorrow is Sunday. My master, you don't have anything planned, do you? You sure know how to pick a day. She replied, no, you have something to do. My God, a chiseled body like this with that expression. How could the ladies resist? No, I just felt that if we did this, you could let loose a little. Her expression was just like us ladies, completely smitten. Ooh, she giggled. Haha, then I'll have to see what you're capable of. The next morning, still in this familiar place. In the room that was passionate last night, she stirred, unable to get up, as if crying for help. So hungry. Seeing her snuggle, he also woke up. Hanju. He sat up. You're awake. She hummed in response. I'll go make some food. Before he could get out of bed, she pulled him back. Still half asleep, he called out. What's wrong? Want to order delivery? She peeked out, just to wish him one thing. Mr. Wan, good morning. Seeing this scene, he was stunned. Then a smile, full of happiness and contentment, spread across his face. Good morning. And so, a morning like any other began.